Host has entered the selected world. Welcome to global survival. Ding. The God of Cuisine system has been bound and activated successfully. From today onward, you will embark on your survival journey in this perilous world. Ding. Your shop, second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart, has been generated. Showcase your culinary skills to the fullest. Start with a perfect dish, and the system will accompany you to stand atop the pinnacle of gastronomy. You have drawn this second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart. Make use of every resource around you and strive to stay alive. Lin Shin stared at the human-powered tricycle before him, unable to recover for a long time. The alternating system notifications ringing inside his head finally fell silent. Lin Shin, male, 24 years old. He had just claimed the gold medal in the national cooking competition when he was enveloped by a burst of white light. A voice informed him that he had been chosen by the God of Cuisine system. The system was crafted exclusively for top culinary prodigies, dedicated to guiding its host toward greater culinary heights and breaking the limits of mortal cooking skills. Per the system's plan, Lin Shin only needed to select a preferred world to embark on a new life of traveling across myriad realms, honing his cooking, and achieving culinary divinity across all universes. Filled with eager anticipation, Lin Shin carefully assessed the unique traits and advantages of each available world. Then another wave of red light swept over him. This crimson radiance was countless times vaster than the white light he had seen before. Every human across the globe was locked onto by an unknown mysterious force and forcibly dragged away. His planned journey through gourmet realms was abruptly put on hold. Lin Shin glanced up at the sky, swallowing a curse that had reached the tip of his tongue. Damn this cruel fate. He lowered his gaze to examine the panel prompts that had materialized out of nowhere. First came the notifications from Global Survival. Welcome to Global Survival. From today onward, you will embark on your survival journey in this perilous world. Keep moving forward. Anyone drawn into the mist behind you will perish. Every survivor starts with a vehicle. Survivors may upgrade their vehicles to unlock additional functions. Survivors will face various natural disasters along the path. Gather supplies wherever possible. Survivors cannot encounter one another unless they stop at a station. Newcomer-friendly reminder. Your initial newcomer protection period lasts 3 days. The first natural disaster will be the endless night. Prepare accordingly. Drawing your vehicle, please wait. You have drawn this second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart. Make use of every resource around you and strive to stay alive. Next were the notifications from the God of Cuisine system. Ding. Host has entered the selected world. Ding. The God of Cuisine system has been bound and activated successfully. Ding. Newcomer gift pack has been issued. Ding. Scanning world environment. Scanning world rules. Generating adapted regulations. System rule. Any supplies can be converted into points. Points may be exchanged for ingredients, kitchenware, recipes, culinary talents, and more. Shopkeeper basic skills. Forage along the path. Ingredients are additionally obtained from supplies uncovered within the shopkeeper's vicinity. Long-term provisions. The shelf life of ingredients and prepared food stored inside the shop is tripled. Emergency rations. A chef will never be left with nothing. You receive one random portion of ingredients every day. Ingredient grade cannot exceed the skill rank. Shop operation rules. Open shop. After activating open shop, business hours last 8 hours each day. Closing is forbidden while diners remain on the premises. Encounter rate for customers rises alongside shop rank. Blacklist. Rude diners are unwelcome. The shopkeeper may edit the shop blacklist. Blacklisted survivors cannot come across this shop during their journey. No takeaway. Every dish is crafted with care. Enjoy the authentic flavor by dining in. Takeaway service is unavailable. No food waste. Every gourmet dish deserves to be fully enjoyed. Anyone who wastes food will be automatically added to the blacklist. Clear pricing. An honest small shop with transparent pricing. Private off-menu trades between shopkeeper and diners are prohibited. Note: barter exchange values may fluctuate by plus or minus 20 when trading supplies. Wandering fragrance. Where the shop's aroma drifts, no outside force, no matter how powerful, can harm anything within the shop. Ding. Optimizing shop form to fit world regulations. Shop converted into a mobile food cart. Generating mobile food cart, please wait. Ding. Your shop, second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart, has been generated. Showcase your culinary skills to the fullest. Start with a perfect dish, and the system will accompany you to stand atop the pinnacle of gastronomy. Staring at the information on the panel, Lin Shin sank into deep thought. So the food cart created by the culinary system according to world rules counted as his shop, while the survival game recognized this same cart as his randomly allocated vehicle. Beyond the basic notifications, the panel held additional sections. On the left were Backpack and Points Shop. The backpack contained 8 slots, with the newcomer gift pack occupying the first slot. On the right lay World Chat, Regional Chat, Trade Channel, and Coming Soon. World Chat and Coming Soon were grayed out, meaning they remained locked. Lin Chen opened Regional Chat, entered his old online handle Honest Little Chef, and joined the channel. Region ID 43547, population 10,000. The chat feed was already flooded with messages. Passenger 43547. What's going on? What on earth is this? Milk tea with 30 sugar. Is this some reality show? Where are the cameras? Just want to lie low. Perfect. I don't need to pay off my Huabei debt anymore. High school student hates homework. Woo. No more school. Yeah. Old Joe from the construction site. Damn it. I just bought my new Mercedes, and now it's gone. They give me a beat-up Wuling instead. Wong or Motzi. Count your blessings. My allocated vehicle is a pair of skate shoes. How is that even considered transport? Cola no ice. I got a manual wheelchair. Soft candy bear. Can any kind person tell me how to drive? I haven't learned yet. Old 8 secret burger. I suspect someone's showing off here. Angler never returns empty-handed. Don't get carried away. Vehicles might run out of fuel halfway. Some human-powered transport might end up better off. Northwest Hammer King. That makes sense. Old Joe from the construction site. Ugh. What am I supposed to do then? I get this broken Wuling, and it might not even run. Milk tea fully sweetened. Calm down. Travel a short distance forward, and you'll find your first supply crate. It's a newbie reward, and it drops items related to your vehicle. Milk tea fully sweetened. Several people have tested it already. There's no danger. Old Joe from the construction site. Thanks, man. I'm heading there right away. Soft candy bear. Could anyone tell me which direction is forward? Milk tea fully sweetened. Old Joe from the construction site. Northwest Hammer King. Did you ignore the earlier reminder? Look at that massive mist behind us. It's not advancing yet, but that must be the newcomer protection zone. Wong or Motzi. That sounds terrifying. Skate shoes or not, I'm moving forward. Cola no ice. Same here. Watching messages scroll rapidly before his eyes, Lin Chen gained his first useful piece of information. A newbie reward crate lay somewhere ahead. He would need to keep a sharp lookout so he wouldn't miss it. He glanced back toward the mist. Swirls of black fog churned continuously, trying to creep forward, blocked only by an invisible barrier. Judging by the sight, once the newbie period expired, the mist would spread at a frightening speed. Lin Chen turned his attention back to his human-powered tricycle food cart. It had clearly seen years of heavy use. Its faded dark blue paint peeled away, the frame and wheels covered in rusty brown stains. The countertop and stove were encrusted with years of soot and dried grease. Multiple joints were crudely reinforced with thin wire and scrap angle iron, evidence of multiple previous owners and makeshift repairs. He selected it to view details. Vehicle status, name, second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart. Description, an old civilian street vendor human-powered tricycle, not a heavy freight model. The classic vehicle favored by roadside merchants and mobile stall operators on the city outskirts. The entire frame is welded iron tubing with no electric or fuel power systems. Movement relies entirely on human strength. Overall dimensions, approximately 3.2 meters in total length, maximum width 1.1 meters, peak canopy, height 1.6 meters. Fixed core equipment, integrated iron countertop plus cast iron coal stove in the center, front riding compartment, simple canvas rain canopy. Stock, coal briquettes times 10, sweet potato times 1. Vehicle type, mobile food cart, vehicle rank. E, unique food cart attributes. Random customer draw. The cart holds 0 natural appeal to attract diners. If any survivor spots you, they must be truly desperate. Wandering fragrance, LV.1. Basic cart protection, covering only the food cart itself. Even when the cart is moving, the surrounding aroma will shield you from harm. Current status, shop closed. Available upgrade paths, basic reinforcement, power modification, kitchen upgrade. The oppressive aura radiating from the mist behind him was impossible to ignore. Lin Chen resolved to move forward while examining his belongings. Lin Chen pedaled the creaking tricycle slowly along the relatively smooth dirt track. Every rotation of the pedals demanded considerable effort. Steering carefully, he mentally opened the newcomer gift pack inside his backpack. Ding! Newcomer gift pack opened. Congratulations, you obtained iron kitchenware set times 1, basic seasoning pack times 1 salt, sugar, soy sauce, vinegar, edible oil times 1. Culinary skill, masterful knife skills, E rank, points times 100. Detected. Your innate knife skill already reaches Grandmaster level. Masterful knife skills E rank may be converted into attribute points or 100 points. Stamina. I choose stamina. Lin Shen made his selection with his thoughts. He hadn't inspected the points shop yet, but no matter what rewards it offered, he needed stamina to pedal this worn tricycle. Ding. Stamina +1. A warm current washed over his body. Although this survival world did not display survivor stats numerically, Lin Shen could feel himself brimming with vitality. Lin Shen turned to examine his remaining supplies. Coal briquette times 10. Description: basic coal briquette that sustains stable combustion. One briquette burns for 1 hour. Only 1 hour of burn time? Poor quality indeed. It seemed the system simplified many mechanics, and some properties diverged from real life. The detail about coal briquette burn time taught him a valuable lesson. He could not rely on common sense. He needed to read all system descriptions carefully to avoid being caught off guard. Sweet potato, freshness, 99, description, 500 g large sweet potato, basic ingredient. This must be the ingredient provided by the emergency ration skill. After reviewing his goods, Lin Shen studied the cart's upgrade paths. He set his sights on frame reinforcement and power modification. Frame reinforcement required one basic reinforcement module. Power modification needed either an electric power module or fuel module, items he definitely could not acquire right now. I'll keep an eye out for the newbie supply crate first. It might drop upgrade components. He pedaled harder. The +1 stamina boost was plainly effective. After traveling roughly 200 meters, a plain wooden crate came into view beside the road, blending seamlessly into the surroundings. The crate was modest, half a meter square. Even without checking regional chat, Lin Shen could guess many survivors driving motorized vehicles had likely raced past and missed it. He parked the tricycle, walked forward quickly, and touched the crate. Ding. Supply crate detected. Open it. Newcomer reminder. Supply crates have a chance to spawn living creatures upon opening. Open. Congratulations, you obtained basic cleaning kit times 1, purified water times 2, eggs times 3, regular coal briquettes times 5, disposable paper plates times 10, wooden cutting board times 1. Talent forage along the path activated. Bonus loot, wild scallions times 3, sweet potatoes times 2. Just as the chat messages claimed, every item from the crate suited his vehicle. Lin Shen glanced helplessly at his food cart. So in the system's eyes, this thing is nothing but a kitchen. Not a single other useful supply. He stored all ingredients inside the cart's fresh-keeping storage and placed non-perishable items like kitchenware and coal briquettes into his backpack before setting off again. He now possessed enough ingredients to open for business. He mentally tapped the Open Shop button on the panel. Ding. Shop, second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart, officially open for business. Remaining business hours today, 7 hours, 59 minutes. Current shop rank, E rank. Unique attribute, random customer draw, activated. Survivors can only discover this shop if they suffer extreme hunger and have an unobstructed line of sight. Staring at his peeling, canopy-torn tricycle stained with aged grease, he fully understood what random customer draw truly meant. If abandoned beside the trail, anyone would mistake this cart for discarded junk. Who would guess it housed a dine-in eatery? Time ticked onward. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours passed. Not a single customer appeared. No more supply crates emerged. Not even an insect crossed his path. The dirt road stretched endlessly into the distance, flanked by withered weeds and bare earthen slopes. The only sound was the canvas canopy fluttering in the wind. Lin Shen watched for more crates while idly scrolling through the chat feed. He dared not pay too much attention to it, given the tricycle's sluggish pace. The channel was buzzing with arguments, almost everyone complaining about the lack of food. Old Joe from the construction site. Wow. I found half a barrel of gasoline and a wrench. My wooling can run now, guys. Cola no ice. I only got a pair of work gloves. Does that mean I still have to push my wheelchair by hand? Soft Candy Bear. I found 3 packs of biscuits. They taste good, but there isn't much. Wonger Motzi. I'm jealous. All my skate shoes came with is a spare shoelace. Can this world get any worse? Starvingly. Does anyone have food? I'm on the verge of collapse. Lin Shen closed the chat window, feeling a little relieved. While most survivors scrambled just to find a mouthful of food, he at least did not face starvation. His stomach rumbled. He was growing hungry too. There was no point waiting around for customers. He might as well prepare food. Even if no one bought anything, he could eat it himself. He parked the tricycle on flat, open ground with clear visibility. He pulled out the cleaning set from the newbie crate. preparing to scrub the countertop and coal stove thoroughly. A system notification chimed. Ding. Detected second-hand human-powered tricycle food cart. Cleanliness level, 10. Use cleaning kit. So the cleaning supplies could be used directly through the system. He selected yes via thought. The cleaning kit vanished from his grasp in an instant. Dark, caked grease covering the countertop and coal stove disappeared completely, revealing silvery sheet metal beneath the grime. The cart finally looked somewhat like a proper shop. Ding. Coal briquette ignited. Remaining burn time, 59 minutes 59 seconds. Ignition may be paused. Recalling how the cleaning kit worked, Lin Shen picked up a sweet potato and gestured toward the cart, but no cooking prompt popped up. It seems my own cooking skill still matters after all. He took out a sweet potato and purified water, preparing to rinse the vegetable carefully. Water slid straight off the surface without dampening the skin at all. Sweet potato, freshness, 95. It appeared system-generated ingredients were only affected by freshness values and could not be dirted by environmental conditions. Lin Shen marveled at the power of the system. He weighed the sweet potato, then retrieved 2 eggs and the wild scallions. I'll start prepping ingredients. Lin Shen gripped the iron kitchen knife and steadied the sweet potato beneath the blade. The edge sliced through smoothly without resistance. His knife technique was already at Grandmaster standard. He diced the sweet potato into uniform half-centimeter cubes, each piece with crisp, even edges. He trimmed the roots off the wild scallions and chopped them finely, separating white stalks from green tops. Flames from the coal stove licked the bottom of the pot, emitting faint crackling sounds. Lin Shen poured a dash of cooking oil. Once the oil temperature rose slowly, he tipped the diced sweet potatoes into the pan and stirred them gently over low heat. The instant the sweet potato cubes touched the hot oil, a tempting sizzle echoed out. As he kept stirring, the aroma of sweet potatoes unfurled little by little. At first, there was a faint raw starch scent, which soon bloomed into a rich caramelized sweetness. The edges of the sweet potato cubes gradually turned golden yellow, and some spots lightly charred, forming a thin, crisp crust. By the time every piece of sweet potato was golden all over and fragrant enough to fill the air, Lin Shen cracked 2 eggs into a clean iron bowl. He added a tiny pinch of salt for seasoning and whisked quickly. Egg white and yolk blended seamlessly into smooth, uniform egg batter. Turning the stove to medium-low heat, he poured the batter evenly over the sweet potato cubes. The liquid egg seeped through the gaps between the cubes, rapidly solidifying on contact with the hot pan bottom and wrapping tightly around every chunk of sweet potato. The edges of the egg batter puffed upward, taking on an appetizing golden hue and releasing the mellow, distinctive fragrance of cooked eggs. Next, he scattered chopped white wild onion stalks over the top, covered the pan with an iron lid, and let it simmer for a short while until the egg fully set and cooked through. The moment he lifted the lid, an even richer wave of fragrance surged forth. The sweetness of sweet potatoes, the mellow richness of eggs, intertwined perfectly with the unique fresh aroma of wild onions. Finally, he sprinkled chopped green wild onion tops as garnish. A plate of golden scallion sweet potato egg bake was complete, golden and bursting with aroma. Golden egg batter encased orange-red sweet potato cubes, dotted with emerald wild onions. It looked absolutely stunning. Even with nothing but salt as seasoning, he had brought out the absolute best of the ingredients with his cooking skill. Ding. Detected that the host has prepared Grade E Cuisine, Golden Scallion Sweet Potato Egg Bake. Cuisine score, 87 plus 20 bonus from Master Tier Cooking Skill. Note, any cuisine scoring above 80 points can restore an additional 10 stamina for survivors. System set price, 30 points. Lin Shen's eyes lit up. It seemed prepared food offered benefits beyond simple satiety. Ding. The coal briquette has burned out. Remaining usable burn time, 35 minutes and 24 seconds. Maybe reignited. He was just about to take a bite when another system notification popped up. Ding. Diner detected. Slow, dragging footsteps drifted from afar, accompanied by the scraping sound of skate shoes dragging across dirt, sounding utterly weak. At the end of the dirt road, a thin figure stumbled closer. The person wore a tattered t-shirt and jeans covered in rips, paired with faded skate shoes. Their hair was matted and messy, lips cracked and peeling, face pale as paper. They swayed with every step, as if they might collapse to the ground at any second. It was none other than Wang Ermatzi, the man who'd complained in the regional chat that he'd only gotten spare shoelaces from drawing skate shoes. Wang Ermatzi was on the brink of starvation. Before he'd been pulled into this survival game, he'd already gone some time without eating. Now he'd trudged along on his skate shoes for over 3 hours. He hadn't found a single resource crate along the way, not even an edible blade of grass. Thirsty, famished, his limbs heavy and weak, black spots danced across his vision. Just as he thought he would perish on the first day of the survival game, an unprecedented fragrance drifted into his nose. The scent was far too tempting, seizing all his senses in an instant. Driven by instinct, he followed the aroma. The closer he drew, the stronger the fragrance grew. Eventually, he spotted the human-powered, three-wheeled food cart. Behind the cart stood Lin Chun, holding a plate of gleaming golden food. He froze abruptly and rubbed his eyes hard, convinced he was hallucinating. Food, real food. Wang Ermatzi's voice was hoarse and raspy. His gaze locked firmly on the golden scallion sweet potato egg bake in Lin Chen's hands as he swallowed thickly. Lin Chen raised an eyebrow. He hadn't expected his casual open business setup to actually attract a customer. He gestured toward the three-wheeled cart. Open for business. Want something to eat? The words, open for business, sent tremors of excitement through Wang Ermatzi, and he nearly lunged forward. He steadied himself hastily and asked cautiously, Truly, can I get food here? What do I trade with you? I open one beginner resource crate. Please see if any of these items work. With that, he dumped everything from his backpack onto the ground. The beginner crate had yielded quite a few supplies. 2 units of spare bearings, 1 sheet of sandpaper, a plastic elbow guard, a pair of nylon shoelaces, and 2 units of iron ingots. Lin Chen glanced over the scattered items, and the system automatically appraised their value. Ding. Detecting tradable supplies. Spare bearings times 2, 30 points. Sandpaper, 2 points. Plastic elbow guard, 5 points. Nylon shoelaces, 2 points. Iron ingots times 2, 10 points. Lin Chen quickly ran through the numbers in his head. System rules required transparent, fixed pricing. Since they were bartering with physical goods, the total value of items he accepted could not exceed 36 points. Ideally, he would take both the iron ingots and bearings. These materials would prove extremely valuable in the later stages. However, 2 iron ingots plus 2 sets of bearings added up to 40 points. Once Wang Ermatzi finished the hearty serving of baked egg, there was no guarantee he would have enough remaining resources to purchase another dish. Lin Chen decided to give up 1 unit of iron ingot for now. He looked up at Wang Ermatzi, sweating anxiously. I run an honest shop with clear pricing. 1 portion of golden scallion sweet potato egg bake costs 30 survival coins. Survival coins exchange 1:1 with basic system points. Let me break down your goods. Bearings worth 15 survival coins. Sandpaper 2 survival coins. Plastic elbow guard 5 survival coins. Nylon shoelaces 2 survival coins. 1 unit of iron ingot 5 survival coins. Wang Ermatzi stared blankly for a moment, then burst into wild joy, almost kneeling before Lin Chen. He had assumed his worthless pile of junk would never buy him even a mouthful of food. He hadn't expected the vendor to accept his trade without price gouging him. Lin Chen continued speaking. For physical item exchanges, my shop charges a 20 service fee. I will take 2 units of bearings and 1 unit of iron ingot, totaling 35 survival coins. Do you agree? Lin Chen had no intention of letting anyone learn the truth hidden within that so-called 20 service fee. Yes, absolutely yes. Wang Ermatzi scrambled to hand over the exact items Lin Chen had named. Lin Chen took the supplies and tossed them casually into his backpack. Ding. Achievement unlocked. First customer. Achievement description. Even fine cuisine needs its first patron. Let us hope this diner will not need to eat with bare hands. Reward. 20 points. 10 disposable paper plates. 10 pairs of disposable chopsticks. He spooned the steaming golden scallion sweet potato egg bake onto a paper plate and handed over a set of chopsticks. Wang Ermatzi could not waste a single second on conversation. He squatted on the ground and began shoveling food into his mouth. The caramelized sweetness of sweet potato blended with tender egg on his tongue, balanced perfectly by the fresh wild onion aroma that cut through richness, pure perfection. Tears rolled down Wang Ermatzi's cheeks as he ate ravenously. Moments earlier he'd truly believed he would die of starvation on this desolate dirt road. He never imagined he would taste such incredible food. Eat slowly. Don't choke. Lin Chen set his half-empty bottle of water on the cart counter while planning his own meal via the system panel. He then noticed Wang Ermatzi's gaze fixed on the half-finished water bottle. Unfortunately, the stingy system prohibited private off-menu trades between the shopkeeper and others. Lin Chen silently grumbled to himself. He still regretted missing out on that extra unit of iron ingot. Following Wang Ermatzi's line of sight, he spotted a new line of text beneath the water's description. Fails commodity standards. Unavailable for trade. What did that mean, fails commodity standards? Lin Chen stroked his chin thoughtfully. He picked up the bottle, set it down, picked it up once more, and set it aside again. After several attempts, he worked out the rule. Water placed on the cart counter could be listed as merchandise. He tested sweet potatoes, empty plates, and other items afterwards. None qualified. It appeared only edible goods could be traded. Lin Shen pulled out another unopened bottle of purified water and set it on the cart countertop. System set price, 5 points. Lin Shen sighed inwardly. The system mall sold purified water for merely 1 point per bottle. If bulk resale were permitted, he would simply become a water merchant instead of slaving away cooking meals. Still, it was better to have another item to sell. Dear customer, this bottle of water costs 5 survival coins. Would you like it? Wang Ermatzi nodded quickly and pulled out the remaining single iron ingot from his backpack. He was far from foolish. He had long noticed the shopkeeper coveted this material. He'd wanted to give it away for free after eating, yet Lin Shen had declined. Now he could trade it for drinking water. To Wang Ermatzi, Lin Shen was the kindest person alive. Before long, Wang Ermatzi polished off the entire plate of baked egg. He even licked every trace of grease off the plate's rim. He patted his full stomach, color returning to his cheeks, and vitality flooding back into his body. Boss, thank you endlessly. You practically saved my life. Wang Ermatzi bowed deeply toward Lin Shen. My name is Wang Er, in-game alias Wang Ermatzi. If you ever need help with anything, just call on me. Merely standard business. No need to thank me. Lin Shen replied with a gentle smile. But boss, Wang Ermatzi frowned in confusion. Didn't the system state survivors cannot encounter each other except at designated stations? Lin Shen chuckled. There is no mystery. This food cart possesses an ability similar to a station, though encounters depend entirely on luck. Great master, can I stick with you? I can handle any kind of work. Wang Ermatzi grew excited. Having stumbled upon such a powerful ally, he wanted nothing more than to cling to this opportunity. Lin Shen shook his head. I'm afraid that won't be possible. As you can see, my shop is not hiring staff at present. Shop rules also state customers cannot linger for extended periods without special reason. Disappointment washed over Wang Ermatzi. At the very least, tell me your name. Lin Shen let out a soft laugh. You may call me Honest Chef. Once their conversation ended, Wang Ermatzi thanked Lin Shen once again before trudging away reluctantly on his skate shoes. Shortly after he left, the two vanished from one another's sight, as if their meeting had been nothing more than mutual hallucination. With Wang Ermatzi gone, Lin Shen planned to cook himself a meal while the cold briquettes still retained burn time. He wanted to experience the food's special effects firsthand. Lin Shen took out 1 sweet potato and 1 egg. He hadn't tasted the portion he'd served Wang Ermatzi, so now he could make one for himself. As Lin Shen busied himself cooking, he remained unaware that the regional chat channel had erupted into chaos. Wang Ermatzi, everyone. I survived. I ate hot food. Freshly cooked, steaming hot food. Milk tea 30 sugar. Oh no, starvation has driven Wang Ermatzi to hallucinations. Just want to lie low. Could it be final moments lucidity? How tragic. He was complaining he only had spare shoelaces earlier. Starving Shaoli, bro, don't lie to me. I'm moments from collapse. Where can I find food? I'll trade everything I own. Soft candy bear, woo, is this real? I want hot food too. My biscuits are almost gone. Wang Ermatzi, I'm not lying. It's all true. I was dying on the road when a fantastic aroma hit me. I followed the scent and found an old 3-wheeled cart. The owner is Honest Chef, an incredibly decent person. Wang Ermatzi, I traded 2 bearings and 1 iron ingot for a plate of golden scallion sweet potato egg bake, then another iron ingot for purified water. That bake was unbelievable. Sweet soft sweet potato, tender egg, fragrant wild onions. I lack the words to describe it. It is the most delicious thing I have ever tasted. Wang Ermatzi, and I felt strength surge through my body after eating it. My legs had been too weak to lift before. Now skating feels effortless. The chef's food carries special effects. I swear it's amazing. Wang Ermatzi's excitement was palpable, enough to send out such a long string of messages through the system chat. Coke no ice. Wait a minute. The system said survivors cannot meet unless at stations. How did you encounter this, chef? Northwest Hammer King. I'm suspicious too. Could this be some new kind of trap? Wang Ermatzi. I swear every word is true. If I lie, let the mist swallow me tomorrow. Honest Chef saved my life. Anyone who speaks ill of him answers to me. Construction worker Joe. His story sounds credible. What does the cart look like? Roughly where is it? I'm going to search for it. Wang Ermatzi, an old blue human-powered tricycle fitted with a canvas awning. I cannot pinpoint the exact location. When I turned around after leaving, the cart vanished without a trace. Wang Ermatzi, it seems encounters rely purely on luck. You won't find it if you actively hunt for it. The chat channel filled with collective groans. Many envied Wang Ermatzi's extraordinary luck, while far more remained skeptical. While the chat group debated Honest Chef fervently, Lin Shen finished preparing his meal. Ding! Detected that the host has prepared Grade E cuisine, golden scallion sweet potato egg bake. Cuisine score, 80 plus 20 bonus from master tier cooking skill, minus 8 points for insufficient ingredients. Note: any cuisine scoring above 80 points can restore an additional 10 stamina for survivors. He had used one fewer egg, so a score of 80 was more than satisfactory. Lin Shen nodded happily and picked up chopsticks to take a bite. Caramelized sweet potato sweetness spread across his tongue, paired with tender egg and fresh wild onion. The warm food slid down into his stomach, bringing a soothing warmth that chased away exhaustion and chill accumulated over his travels. A warm current surged through every limb. The aching fatigue in his legs from pedaling the tricycle faded instantly. It really works. Lin Shen felt noticeably revitalized, finally understanding exactly what the bonus stamina recovery entailed. While eating, he browsed the points shop. The chef points shop was Lin Shen's greatest advantage over other survivors, the foundation of his survival. At the top of the interface, his current points balance was displayed, 120 points. For the time being, he did not intend to convert the supplies obtained from trading with Wang Ermatzi into points. The shop was divided into 5 main sections: Ingredients Zone, Cookware Zone, Recipe Zone, Upgrade Enhancement Zone, and Special Items Zone. Lin Shen first opened the Basic Ingredients Zone. It contained an enormous variety of goods: common grains, oil, vegetables, and fruits, all types of poultry and meat, alongside many unfamiliar ingredients such as bronze dragon meat, 9-colored deer meat, matriarch insect heart, names he had never heard before. Seeing the staggering price tags attached to those rare ingredients, he abandoned further browsing. Fortunately, basic ingredients were affordably priced. Just like purified water at 1 point, most simple ingredients cost between 1 and 3 points. Prices were reasonable, even generous. Unfortunately, the system enforced a no-takeaway rule. Lin Shen had tested it previously. This rule also prohibited listing goods on the public trade market. If not for this restriction, he could easily grow rich simply selling bottled water. There were also ingredients capable of boosting physical attributes and unlocking special talents. Lin Shen jotted down the prices of commonly used supplies before moving to the cookware zone. This section was equally packed with options. Basic refined iron kitchen knives, solid wood cutting boards, non-stick frying pan sat alongside uniquely enchanted gear such as 100-hole blade, 7-star blade, and even legendary cookware he had never known of: spirit restoring blade, dragon revolving pot, jade dragon wok, all appearing incredibly powerful. Lin Shen stroked his chin. The beginner kitchen knife functioned, yet felt awkward in his grip. Still, his points were limited. He needed to prioritize his most urgent needs. The third section was the recipe zone. Upon entering, Lin Shen headed straight toward the later entries. He believed he could prepare simple recipes without instruction. He only wanted to check if recipes existed for those astronomically priced rare ingredients from the ingredients zone. As he suspected, recipes were available. Slow time simmer, 1 cut of young bronze dragon rib, 3 grains of thyme sand, 2 slices of world tree annual ring, subjugation of all insects, matriarch nest heart, royal jelly secreted by worker insects, shell of mutated beetle, titan's grip, lava giant core shoulder meat, flame essence, obsidian shards. Lin Shen could not help clicking each entry. As a chef, unknown recipes held overwhelming temptation. Cannot view full details prior to purchase. Only core ingredients available for preview. Insufficient points. Exchange points to unlock. Insufficient points. Exchange points to unlock. Insufficient points. Exchange points to unlock. Next came the Upgrade Enhancement Zone. Lin Shen skimmed its contents quickly. This zone allowed spending points to upgrade the restaurant directly. Partial upgrades already purchased would be discounted from future upgrade costs. Upgrading the basic tricycle into an electric model required 1,000 points. Additional supporting facilities such as solar power generators or alternative power sources demanded even more points. Lin Shen sighed. He still had a long road ahead of him. Last of all was the Special Items Zone. Nothing here came cheap. Lin Shen selected several items that piqued his interest and memorized their prices silently. Beast Taming Flavor Box, 100 points. May bond to a creature. Automatically generate suitable beast taming feed. Additional points required after bonding based on the creature's tier. Level 1 Guest Summoning Bell, 5,000 points. Can summon past customers to the shop once daily. Its chime dispels low-grade mental corruption and calms panic diners. May be upgraded. Level 1 dimensional farm plot 10,000 points. The entrance can take any shape. Opens a spirit-rich dimensional space for planting. May be upgraded. Level 1 fair scale 10,000 points. Allows one fair unrestricted trade between shopkeeper and customer each day. May be upgraded. Lin Shen finished his last mouthful of food and drained the remaining half bottle of water. He tidied up his things before casually tossing his used disposable tableware onto the roadside. It was a bad habit, but this was the end of the world. This area would surely be swallowed by the black fog sooner or later, so no one would care anyway. Behind him, the mist still loomed silently on the edge of sight, yet that intangible sense of oppression was growing heavier by the second. Not daring to dawdle, Lin Shen pushed harder and got back on the road. As he pedaled, he idly scrolled through the regional chat channel. The discussion about Wang Ermatzi's hot meal encounter was still going around in circles. Most people remained skeptical, while only a handful of starving survivors spammed messages begging for the location of the conscientious chef. Right then, a string of messages flooded the channel, instantly overshadowing all other conversations. Loves braised pork. Help. I opened a treasure chest, and a wolf came out. It's chasing me right now. He sent the message 3 times in a row, followed by a long trail of exclamation marks. The chat channel fell silent for 2 heartbeats before erupting. Cola with rice. Whoa? Creatures can actually spawn from chests. Delivery Guy A. Chong. I thought newbie resource crates were safe. Everything anyone opened before was just supplies. Wang Ermatzi. Bro, run. Head for crowds of people. Champion Night Owl. Crowds? Have you forgotten we almost never meet other survivors outside designated stations? Wang Ermatzi. Oh right, I just ran into the chef, my bad. Around 5 minutes passed, and Love's Braised Pork never sent another message. Cola with rice. At Love's Braised Pork, you still alive? Say something. A heavy silence descended across the entire chat channel. After a long pause, someone tentatively typed out a reply. Milk tea full sugar. Didn't the newbie tutorial say there is a small chance to spawn creatures? I thought the odds were extremely low. Veteran soldier Lao Zhao. Low odds or not, everyone needs to stay alert. I just opened a wooden crate, and 3 mutated rats popped out. They're as big as cats, with teeth sharp enough to bite through sheet metal. I barely fought them off. Construction worker Zhou. Same here. I was searching for the food cart Wang Ermatzi mentioned when I spotted a crate. A palm-sized black spider crawled out. The silk it spews can trap people. If I hadn't grabbed a rock and smashed it, I'd be dead by now. Panic was about to spread once more when several messages with a completely different tone popped up. Rabbit doesn't eat grass near its burrow. Huh? I just opened a crate and got 3 laying hens plus a clutch of eggs. They're plump. I'm planning to roast them later. Professional chicken farmer. I pulled a big white rabbit. It runs really slowly. I knocked it out with 1 stick. Rabbit stew for dinner. Huh. Lucky star. Did you two get your usernames mixed up? The atmosphere in the chat channel turned distinctly strange. Some burned with envy. Others shuddered with lingering fear, and many sank into deeper anxiety. Lin Shen subconsciously glanced at the kitchen knife strapped inside his backpack. If a wolf had spawned when he opened his own crate earlier, as just a cook, he doubted he would have fared any better than Love's Braised Pork. He cycled for another half an hour before spotting a half-meter square wooden crate by the roadside, identical to the newbie resource crate he had found before. Lin Shen halted his tricycle, gripped his kitchen knife tightly, and crept forward to touch it. Ding. Discovered ordinary resource crate. Open it. Open. Congratulations. You have obtained timber times 2, hardtack times 1, purified water times 2, worn canvas times 3. Talent, fresh hull triggered. Bonus loot, flour times 1, egg times 2, corn times 1, sweet potato times 1. It seemed only the first newbie crate granted supplies matching the owner's vehicle. Thankfully, no creature spawned this time. Lin Shen let out a quiet breath of relief. He exchanged the timber and worn canvas directly for points, stowed the ingredients inside the temperature-locking storage of his food cart, and stuffed the rest into his backpack. 2 units of timber were exchanged for 6 points, and 3 pieces of worn canvas earned another 6 points, bringing a total of 12 points. Lin Shen climbed back onto his tricycle. The sun hung low in the west, stretching the dirt road into warm golden ribbons. Dry, bitter wind rattled the canvas canopy overhead. The landscape stretching onward was monotonous beyond belief, nothing but withered weeds and bare earthen slopes. Lin Shen checked his system panel. Remaining business hours today, 42 minutes. I ought to find somewhere to set up camp soon, he muttered. Scanning the roadside, he noticed a wind-shielded hollow in the terrain not far away, perfect for blocking nighttime gusts. He pedaled the tricycle into the hollow and parked it, ready to prepare dinner. Suddenly, a system notification flashed before his eyes. Ding. Detected the second customer approaching. Lin Shen jerked his head up and stared down the dirt track. A stumbling figure sprinted toward him with all his strength. The man clutched a bronze glinting treasure crate tightly to his chest. A long tear split the back of his jacket, blood dripping steadily down his arm. Less than 10 meters behind him, a mutated wild dog, larger than an ordinary stray, charged forward bearing its fangs. Its eyes glowed eerie crimson, turbid saliva dripping from its jaws, its claws carving deep grooves into the ground as it ran. The man carrying the bronze crate caught sight of the food cart, and Lin Shen seated on the driver's bench. Surprise flickered across his face. He never expected to run into another person out here. Run? There's a wild dog chasing me. Shit. Lin Shen's scalp prickled with terror. He was only a cook. He had never fought even a regular stray dog, let alone a mutated beast. In his panic, he glanced at his three-wheeled food cart and suddenly remembered its special ability. Fragrant Journey LV.1 Cart Barrier provides basic protection covering only the food cart itself. If you are in motion, the aroma will also shield you from harm. Without hesitation, Lin Shen scrambled onto the driver's seat and gripped the handlebars, feeling a sliver of calm settle over him. He noticed the stranger intended to veer off in another direction, unwilling to drag Lin Shen into danger. Still, this would be his second customer, and the cart offered protection. Lin Shen resolved to help. Don't run away. Head straight for me. I've got a way. The low, rumbling snarl of the wild dog drew ever closer. The man abandoned all hesitation and poured his last reserves of energy, racing toward Lin Shen. The instant the man reached the cart, the mutated wild dog launched itself into the air, lunging straight for him. The survivor's legs gave way at that exact moment, and he collapsed beside the cart. The beast's sharp claws swiped toward Lin Shen. Lin Shen squeezed his eyes shut. A deafening clang echoed, followed by the wild dog's shrill yelp. He carefully opened his eyes and watched the beast get thrown 3 meters backward, crashing heavily onto the dirt with a gash splitting its skull. The wild dog shook its head, clearly stunned by the unexpected barrier. It grew even more enraged. Ignoring Lin Shen, it wheeled around and charged the fallen man once again. Lin Shen's taut shoulders relaxed. He wiped cold sweat from his forehead and watched the man scramble away from the beast. The survivor had dropped the crate to one side, yet it seemed useless. Creatures summoned from crates bore a peculiar fixation on the person who opened them. Lin Shen thought quickly and shouted, "If you want to survive, circle around the cart. Stay close to the frame." The man grasped the idea immediately and sprinted in tight loops pressed against the metal tricycle body. "Keep moving nonstop. I'll slash it." Lin Shen half crouched on the driver's seat, leaning out with his kitchen knife glinting coldly in his grip. He gauged the wild dog's path. The moment it chased the man past the front of the cart, he brought the blade sweeping downward. Swish! The edge sliced deep into the wild dog's right hind leg, opening a bone-deep wound from which dark red blood gushed out. The beast let out a blood-curdling howl. Lin Shen pulled back, fully expecting the dog to turn and attack him. Instead, the creature appeared to possess minimal rational thought, consumed only by its urge to hunt the man who had unlocked the crate. It continued snapping and charging after the survivor. Relieved, Lin Shen grew bolder. The man kept leading the wild dog in circles around the cart. Lin Shen tightened his hold on the knife and leaned out again. This time, he targeted the beast's limbs and underbelly, areas with thinner skin that would cripple its mobility. Every time the wild dog rounded the front of the tricycle, another fresh cut appeared on its body. The beast grew increasingly frantic. Its pace slowed, its breathing ragged, and a lifeless haze clouded its scarlet eyes. More than 10 minutes later, as the wounded dog chased the man past the cart front once more, Lin Shen seized his chance. Summoning all his strength, he drove the kitchen knife deep into its neck. Huffed. Most of the blade sank inside. Dark blood splattered across the ground. The mutated wild dog's body stiffened. Its forelegs buckled, and it crashed to the earth. It twitched repeatedly, a gurgling, leaking sound rumbling in its throat before it fell completely still. Ding. Congratulations to host for slaying your first low-level crate-spawned creature. Creature corpse detected. Available actions: dissect to obtain dog meat ×5, or convert directly to 30 points. Lin Shen slumped back onto the driver's seat, gasping for breath. His hand gripping the knife trembled from overexertion. Blood clung to the blade and dripped onto the ground drop by drop. The man who had circled the cart for over 10 laps finally halted. He sank onto the dirt, his face drained of all color. unable to speak for a long while. It took some time before he recovered enough strength. He staggered to his feet and bowed deeply toward Lin Chun, his voice still shaking. Thank you. I would have died for sure without you. My name is Zhang Lei. I'm a programmer. My assigned vehicle is a pair of running shoes on my feet. There was a note of helplessness as he mentioned the sneakers. Lin Chun caught his breath, hopped down from the cart, and nodded toward the bleeding corpse. I'm conscientious chef. I'm keeping the body. Is that fine? Zhang Lei froze for a second before waving his hands repeatedly. Of course. You're the one who killed it after all. He suddenly lifted his head, eyes wide. Wait, you just said your name is conscientious chef? The food cart vendor Wang Ermatzi talked about in the channel? Lin Chun raised an eyebrow and flicked blood off his knife. Seems word has gotten around about me. Good heavens, it really is you. Excitement washed over Zhang Lei, chasing away his earlier terror and exhaustion. I thought Wang Ermatzi was delirious from hunger, making it all up. I love work on the chat channel. I don't post often, but I read every message. Lin Chun checked the price of dog meat in the point shop and converted the beast's corpse into points without delay. He dragged the bronze crate the man had abandoned closer and read the system prompt. Ding. Detected bronze tier resource crate. Open it. Ding. The creature summoned from this crate has already been defeated. No additional monster will spawn upon opening. Boss, this crate belonged to me, and it spawned that monster. I would be dead without your help. Everything inside is yours. I don't want a single thing. Zhang Lei spoke up the moment he saw what Lin Chun planned to do. Lin Chun held off opening the crate and turned to face him. How many crates have you found so far? Zhang Lei let out a bitter laugh. This is technically the second one. The first was my newbie crate. Lin Chun squatted and tapped the cool bronze surface of the crate. I saved your life and gained the wild dog corpse. You discovered and brought this crate here. I'll open it. I get first pick of the loot, and everything left goes to you. I won't take more than agreed. After all, you still need to pay for your meal later. Lin Chun kept that last thought to himself. Zhang Lei tried to decline, but one sharp glance from Lin Chun silenced him. He nodded reluctantly. Very well, I'll follow whatever you decide, boss. Lin Chun took a deep breath and reached out to touch the bronze crate. Open. A crisp click echoed as the crate slowly creaked open, revealing several items resting on its base. Congratulations. You have acquired Basic Reinforcement Module ×1, Small Fuel Lantern ×1, Spam Can ×2, Multi-Purpose Engineer Shovel ×1. Talent, Fresh Haul Triggered. Bonus Loot, Pork ×3, Ginger ×3, Garlic ×2, Dried Chili ×5. Lin Chun's eyes lit up. As expected of a bronze tier crate. Basic Reinforcement Module. Exactly the component he needed to upgrade his food cart frame. Small Fuel Lantern. Can be mounted to a vehicle and run on the vehicle's power source. If carried separately, it requires its own fuel supply. Spam Can, 100 freshness. Sealed cans do not lose freshness until opened. Multi-Purpose Engineer Shovel. Standard military-grade foldable shovel equipped with hardened cutting edge. Serrated blade and triangular window breaker. He laid all the items out on the ground and turned to Zhang Lei. The Basic Reinforcement Module. Your vehicle is running shoes, so this is useless to you. I'll keep it. Lin Chun picked up the engineer's shovel and saw the stunned longing on Zhang Lei's face, tossing the tool straight toward him. You clearly want this badly, so it's yours. The shovel was useful to Lin Chun, yet far from essential. He was a cook. Once his cart was upgraded, he would be busy running his business. He had no time to venture deep into dangerous territory exploring. It's too valuable. Zhang Lei held the shovel tightly and spoke earnestly. This isn't a fair split. He held out the 2 spam cans toward Lin Chun. The shovel means everything to me. I only want this. You can have both cans. Lin Chun accepted one of the cans and waved his hand. I'll take one extra then. Seeing Zhang Lei about to protest again, Lin Chun cut him off. You've heard my name, so you know what I do. 1 can of spam isn't such a big deal for either of us. Don't argue further. Zhang Lei's eyes grew warm with gratitude as he stowed away the canned food. Lin Chun nodded in satisfaction and checked his system panel. Remaining business hours today, 18 minutes. The cart's rules allowed him to keep serving customers as long as a patron was present, so he did not need to worry about closing time running out. I'm still open for business. Care to order something? Lin Chun gestured toward his food cart. Small operation, honest pricing. I accept survival points or traded supplies. Yes, absolutely. Zhang Lei instantly perked up. I've been dying to taste your cooking ever since Wang Ermatzi mentioned you. His description made my mouth water non-stop. He rummaged through his backpack and pulled out 2 coils of thin wire, a waterproof tarpaulin, and a half-empty box of matches. After a moment's thought, he added the spam can he had kept. This is everything I own. Ding. Detecting tradable supplies. Thin wire times 2 20 points. Waterproof tarpaulin 15 points. Timber 3 points. Half box of matches 3 points. That's enough. Lin Chen scanned the list. Do you prefer sweet or savory flavors? Zhang Lei sat upright on a nearby stone like an attentive student. Either is fine. Lin Chen mentally tallied the ingredients needed for scallion sweet potato egg bake and settled on a price. Lin Chen spent 15 points purchasing a fine iron kitchen knife from the mall. He planned to repurpose this blade, which he had previously used to fend off wild dogs. He lit the coal briquette stove and retrieved sweet potatoes, eggs, flour, and wild green onions. Already knowing exactly what he intended to cook. Ding. Coal briquette ignited. Remaining burn time, 35 minutes and 23 seconds. Burn can be paused. Zhang Lei had barely escaped a deadly chase. Blood still trickled from his arm, and his stamina had been drained far beyond normal limits. A crisp, tender egg shredded sweet potato pancake would be the perfect meal for him. Fresh system ingredients required no washing. Lin Chen quickly prepped the wild green onions. Then he gripped the kitchen knife firmly, steadying one end of a sweet potato with his fingertips. With a twist of his wrist, the blade glided smoothly along the tuber. The whole sweet potato was soon sliced into evenly thin shreds. With satisfying precision, he squeezed the shredded sweet potatoes in his palm to press out excess juice. This prevented the batter from turning watery and stopping the pancakes from going limp, while softening the shreds to shorten frying time and ensure thorough cooking all the way through. Next, he cracked 2 eggs into an iron bowl, added a small pinch of salt for seasoning, and whisked rapidly until fine, frothy bubbles formed on the surface. He scooped in 2 large spoonfuls of flour, poured in small amounts of purified water bit by bit, and stirred in a single direction to form smooth, lump-free batter. Then he folded in the drained sweet potato shreds and chopped white sections of wild green onions, mixing gently to blend all the ingredients evenly. Lin Chen turned the coal stove to medium-low heat, letting the flames burn steadily. He poured a little cooking oil into the iron pan. When the oil reached roughly 30% heat, he ladled a scoop of batter into the pan. A flick of his wrist spread the batter across the pan into a neat, round pancake. A gentle sizzle rose from the pan, and the edges of the pancake slowly turned pale gold. The sweet aroma of sweet potatoes drifted out first, mixed with the rich scent of eggs, wheat from the flour, and the distinct fresh tang of wild green onions. The wind carried the fragrance far into the distance. Once the bottom turned golden and crisp, Lin Chen slid a spatula beneath the pancake and flipped it neatly. He scattered the green tops of the wild onions over the surface to boost the flavor. Frying continued slowly in the oil. The large pancake gradually turned an enticing golden shade, its edges curling upward to form a crisp, golden crust. He switched off the heat and transferred the pancake onto a disposable paper plate. Steam curled upward from the freshly cooked egg shredded sweet potato pancake. Orange sweet potato shreds and emerald green onion flecks dotted the golden crust. It looked glossy and appetizing enough to make anyone's mouth water. Ding. Detected that the host has created Grade E Cuisine, egg shredded sweet potato pancake. Cuisine rating, 89. Plus 20 bonus from master level cooking skill, plus 2 bonus from fine iron kitchen knife note. Any cuisine scoring above 80 points can restore an additional 10 stamina for survivors. System listed price, 35 points. Ding. Coal briquette extinguished. Remaining burn time, 25 minutes and 7 seconds. Can be reignited. Lin Chen frowned at the rating. He had been curious what effects a score above 90 would unlock. Carrying the pancake over to Zhang Lei, he said, "I'll cut you a deal. This egg shredded sweet potato pancake plus 1 bottle of purified water, in exchange for 2 units of iron wire, timber, and waterproof cloth." Any objections? The pancake and purified water totaled 40 points, while 2 units each of iron wire, timber, and waterproof cloth were valued at 38 points. The trade fell within the floating price range permitted by the system's barter rules, and Lin Chen decided to offer a slight discount. Zhang Lei had long been salivating from the tempting aroma. No, absolutely no complaints. Lin Chen handed over the paper plate and chopsticks. "It's piping hot. Eat it quickly, it will do you good." Zhang Lei accepted the plate with both hands. When he prodded the pancake lightly with chopsticks, the crisp crust made a sharp crunching sound. The inside was soft and sweet. Sugars in the sweet potatoes had lightly caramelized over high heat, forming a thin sweet glaze. He took a huge bite without hesitation. The crispy outer layer crumbled in his mouth, and tender sweet potato shreds blended with silky egg, melting on his tongue. Warm food slid down into his stomach, and a wave of warmth spread through his entire body. The dizziness brought on by nonstop running and blood loss faded significantly, and the burning pain from the wound on his arm eased. He ate ravenously, cleaning the plate completely, and even picked up every crumb that had fallen onto the ground to finish them off. After eating one pancake, his previously pale complexion regained color. It was as though life had returned to him. "It's incredible. Truly amazing," Zhang Lei exclaimed excitedly. "I've eaten sweet potato pancakes before, but nothing this delicious. After eating it, my arm wound stopped hurting, and I've got my strength back." By the time Zhang Lei finished eating, the sun had sunk behind the earthen slope, painting streaks of orange sunset across the horizon. Lin Shun checked the system notice. The shop was closed for the day. "I wish I could let you stay." Lin Shun spread his hands helplessly. "I'm sure Wang Ermatzi already told you the rules." Zhang Lei nodded and pulled out a multi-functional entrenching tool. "Stay safe, boss. If I cross paths with you again, I'll bring you top-tier supplies." With that, he bowed deeply to Lin Shun, then turned and walked toward the distant earthen slope. Within a few steps, his figure vanished into twilight, as though he had never been there at all. Shortly after Zhang Lei left, the regional chat channel erupted. "Love my job. I don't speak often, but I can confirm everything Wang Ermatzi said is true. Love my job. I met this kind chef too. Wild dogs chased me out of a treasure chest earlier. I almost lost my life. This boss saved me and cooked egg-shredded sweet potato pancakes for me. Love my job. The boss's food is miraculous. Wild dogs clawed my arm, but the bleeding slowed after I ate the pancake, and my stamina fully recovered. Love my job. He's incredibly generous. He even gave me the multi-functional entrenching tool he got from a bronze treasure chest. He didn't take advantage of my desperate situation. Anyone calling the boss a scammer will have to answer to me." The regional chat exploded once more. Some survivors began to have doubts about the rumors circulating, while others remained convinced it was some new scam. Countless people flooded the channel asking for the kind chef's location. Lin Shin paid no attention to the commotion. He was applying the basic reinforcement module D to his food cart. Ding. Basic reinforcement module D detected. Confirm frame upgrade for the used human-powered tricycle food cart? Yes. A flash of white light washed over the vehicle. Its rusted frame instantly became far sturdier. Loose joints were welded tight, and tiers in the canvas canopy were sealed. Ding. Frame upgrade for used human-powered tricycle food cart complete. Vehicle tier elevated to E+. Leaning against the driver's seat, he watched darkness creep over the landscape and thick fog swirl far off in the distance. Lin Chen decided to call it a day. He would finish off his stock of compressed biscuits and purified water tonight. After cycling nonstop for an entire day, even a chef needed rest. He sat in the driver's seat, eating plain compressed biscuits that barely satisfied hunger. As daylight faded, Lin Chen began tallying his supplies. Points: 147. Ingredients: sweet potato times 1, corn times 1, pork times 3, can luncheon meat times 1, ginger times 3, garlic times 2, dried chili times 5. Most of the basic seasoning set, a substantial reserve of cooking oil. Kitchen supplies: coal briquettes times 14, iron cookware set times 1, fine iron kitchen knife times 1, wooden chopping board times 1, disposable paper plates times 17, disposable chopsticks, 7 pairs. Other supplies: spare bearings times 2, iron times 2, thin iron wire times 2, waterproof cloth times 1, half box of matches times 1, timber times 1, small fuel lamp times 1. Vehicle: used human-powered tricycle food cart tier E+, fitted with basic reinforcement module. He finished his biscuits and water, and the last streaks of orange sunset disappeared beyond the horizon. Lin Chen let out a long sigh. There was still a long, difficult road ahead. Lin Chen quickly fetched the fuel lamp and hung it up. Ding. Small fuel lamp mounted to vehicle. Small fuel lamp, vehicle mounted lamp. Brightness varies based on the vehicle's energy source. Current energy source: ordinary coal briquette. Precise illumination range: 1.5 meters. Visibility radius: 3 meters. Currently drawing power from the coal stove. The fuel lamp can activate while the stove burns. Can switch to independent coal briquette combustion. Lin Chun tested the switch. The surroundings plunged into total darkness. Small fuel lamp can run on coal briquettes. 1 unit of coal briquette provides 6 hours of light. Toggleable between drawing power from the coal stove and independent combustion. Lin Chun nodded to himself. Sure enough, if he only needed light, burning coal separately was far more economical than running it off the stove. Consuming coal briquette times 1. Fuel lamp ignited. Remaining runtime: 5 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Can be extinguished. Warning: Switching energy supply will clear all leftover runtime. Lin Shen reached out and adjusted the lamp, watching its flickering flame. He sat back against the iron seat once more to plan his next moves. Quiet nights were perfect for thinking. He had to stockpile as many coal briquettes as possible before the eternal night arrived. The eternal night meant endless darkness, requiring constant lighting and heating. Coal briquettes would become his most precious resource. Meanwhile, timber prices on the trading market were bound to soar. He briefly regretted converting timber into points earlier. Still, the thought passed quickly. If he hesitated to trade every resource, his point balance would never grow. Next priority, upgrade the power system. The human-powered tricycle was far too slow. It drained his stamina and risked being overtaken by the fog rolling up behind him. Tomorrow he hoped to obtain a fuel module or electric power module. If he failed to find one from treasure chests, he would save enough points to purchase a vehicle upgrade directly through the Chef God Points Mall. He also needed to accumulate enough points to buy several vital items he had had his eye on. First was the dimensional garden plot. With his own farmland, he could achieve self-sufficiency in ingredients, no longer relying solely on treasure chests and the system mall. Ingredients grown within the dimensional garden plot would undoubtedly be higher quality than those found out in the wild, letting him produce cuisine with better ratings. Second was the guest summoning bell. Reliance on random customers was too unpredictable. He had only met 2 patrons all day today. The bell would actively draw past visitors, stabilizing his business. It could also repel low-level spiritual contamination, which would prove invaluable when facing future disasters. Many other items looked useful, yet he simply lacked sufficient points. Lin Shen felt once again how difficult it was to earn resources. He glanced at the fuel lamp, hesitated for a moment, then chose to pause its operation. Fuel lamp extinguished. Remaining runtime, 5 hours, 35 minutes, 20 seconds. Can be reignited. Instantly, pitch-black darkness surged forward, swallowing the entire tricycle food cart. Save every resource I can. Lin Shen leaned back against the cold iron seat. The food cart was protected by the lingering fragrance barrier. Whatever lurked in the darkness could not hurt him. Using his mind, he opened the Chef God Points Mall's enhancement upgrade section. Basic electric tricycle upgrade. 600 points. Basic frame reinforcement discount. Minus 400 points. Compact basic electric tricycle 1.7 m times 1.2 m. Standard power consumption. 3 energy units per 100 kilometers. The discount made it a far better deal. He then reviewed other critical goods. Level 1 solar panel, 100 points. Basic 1 by 1 meter panel. Generates roughly 1 energy unit daily under clear skies. Level 2 solar panel. Upgradable from level 1 panel for an extra 200 points. 1 by 1 meter panel, generating roughly 2 energy units daily under clear skies. Level 3 solar panel. Upgradable from level 2 panel for an extra 500 points. 1 by 1 meter panel, generating roughly 5 energy units daily under clear skies. Thinking ahead to the eternal night, solar power, the most practical renewable option, would have to be set aside for now. Lin Shen browsed other power generation solutions. Wind power, ruled out. Biomass power, ruled out. Geothermal power, ruled out. Level 1 coal-fired generator, 100 points. Basic coal-powered generator. Net energy efficiency of 25. 1 unit of regular coal produces 2 energy units. Output drops to 1 energy unit when switched to thermal mode. Lin Shen scratched his head. Coal-fired generation suited his needs well, but once again, it required coal. Where would he source enough coal? He marked it as a tentative choice, since no better alternative existed. Afterwards, he opened the regional chat channel. The chatroom was livelier than at any point during daylight. No one dared travel through the pitch-black night. Even survivors capable of moving preferred to stay put to avoid missing treasure chests. Nearly everyone had halted their journey. Region ID, 43547. Online survivors, 9,872. They were still within the novice protection period, yet fewer than 1 day had passed. And over 100 survivors were already gone forever on this road of survival. Old Joe from the construction site. Damn, it's impossibly dark. You can't see your own hand in front of your face. Headlights waste fuel, but without them, you can't see a thing. No ice in cola, same here. I nearly tipped over my wheelchair. I'm curled up in my vehicle, too scared to move. I keep hearing strange noises outside. It gives me chills. Soft candy bear. It's so terrifying. I feel like something's out there. Is anyone able to come help me? Northwest Hammer King. Don't open your doors. Stay quiet. Remaining inside your vehicle is safest. Veteran Soldier Lao Zhao. We still have novice protection. The darkness at night carries no immediate danger. If you have the capacity, Keep traveling. Rabbit avoids wormwood. I get it now. This is practice for the eternal night disaster. I bet it will be just as dark then. Lao Ba's secret burger. How are we supposed to survive like this? Angler never returns empty-handed. Count your blessings. Haven't you seen over 100 people have perished already? Wangermatsi. Lucky I ran into that kind chef today. A full stomach keeps me strong. Now I'm huddled in an earthen pit beside my skateboard vehicle. I have nothing to fear. Love my job. Second that. Starvingly. I'm so envious. I've only eaten half a compressed biscuit this far, and my water is almost gone. If I don't find supplies tomorrow, I won't make it. The chat channel was filled with equal parts fear of the darkness and desperate longing for food and clean water. More and more survivors realized this was no game, but a true fight for survival. Daytime was manageable relying on novice protection and luck, but once night fell, hunger and cold would wear away every last shred of hope. Lin Shun then opened the previously empty trading channel. Just as Lin Shun predicted, darkness forced all survivors to stop traveling and tally their supplies. Survivors listed spare tools and spare components to trade for basic food and water. Many listings were already visible. Trade listing: rusty wrench ×1 for 200 milliliters purified water or half a compressed biscuit. Trade listing: women's outer jacket ×1 for any edible supplies. Trade listing: 3 units of timber for 1 bottle of purified water. Trade listing: freshly foraged non-toxic wild vegetables for half a compressed biscuit. Wanted: pay a premium for any food. Offering 2 vehicle tires in exchange. Wanted: need lighters or matches. We'll trade a screwdriver. Prices for food and fire starters surged rapidly. 1 bottle of purified water sold for merely 1 point in the system mall. Yet on the trading channel, survivors offered 3 units of timber for a single bottle, timber that could be exchanged for 9 points through the system. Compressed biscuits were extremely scarce. A palm-sized biscuit had climbed in value to the point where someone would trade a multi-purpose tool for one. Lin Shin clicked his tongue and silently complained once more about the system rule prohibiting bulk sales. If the rule did not exist, he could buy water in bulk from the points mall and resell it on the trading channel, quickly earning enough points to upgrade his electric tricycle. He would not need to exhaust himself peddling this worn-out cart. Scrolling further through listings, he spotted a survivor selling wild rabbit meat and wild bird eggs. That person, similar to Rabbit Avoids Wormwood, must have unlocked treasure chests containing docile wildlife. Prices were exorbitant. 1 gene of wild rabbit meat cost 5 compressed biscuits. A sudden idea struck Lin Shun. He already knew meals he prepared could not be uploaded to the market and could not be packed for others to take away. But Lin Shun selected the timber inside his backpack and clicked List for Trade. Please select supplies you wish to trade. It worked. Lin Shun quickly tested other items. He spent 1 point in the Chef God Points Mall to purchase a bottle of water and ran another test. He summed up 2 core rules. First, all resources obtained along the survival highway can be listed on the trading market. Goods originating from the Chef God system cannot, including ingredients gathered by the roadside fresh harvest skill and all items purchased via the Points Mall. Second, any item with a freshness timer, even if obtained from the survival highway, becomes untradeable once stored inside the food cart and protected by its triple shelf life effect. The bottle of water purchased from the Points Mall bore a tiny shovel-shaped logo on its cap, a unique marker belonging to the chef system. Lin Shin stared at the bottle, exasperated. Conflicting system rules, it seemed. He wished he had tested this earlier. He felt he had missed out on a massive opportunity to earn points. Still, it was only the first day. He had discovered this loophole early enough. Lin Shin's mind raced to plan his next moves. He was grateful that the Survival Highways trading system charged no transaction fees to survivors. Lin Shin tallied all the tradable supplies he possessed. 2 spare bearings, 2 iron ingots, 2 bundles of thin iron wire, 1 waterproof tarpaulin, and 1 stack of lumber. There was also a can of luncheon meat. Fortunately, owing to the properties of canned food, Lin Shin had not stowed it inside his food cart. Thinking about the water he had consumed during the day, Lin Shin almost slapped himself. Then he recalled the compressed biscuits he had just eaten, and he could not stop himself from landing a slap on his cheek. Lin Shin quickly scanned the trading market using the point evaluation function of his chef system. He was searching for items that currently sold cheaply on the market, yet held a high value when exchanged for points in the Point Mall. Lumber, 3 points. Rusted wrench, 10 points. Women's coat, 2 points. Scrap cloth, 1 point. Wild vegetables, 1 point. Small barrier crystal, 100 points. Empty bucket, 1 point. Crushed stones, 0 points. Empty aluminum can, 0 points. Lin Shin suddenly froze. Had he just seen something strange? He quickly scrolled upward. He had not misread. Small barrier crystal, 100 points. Trade listing, 1 unknown crystal. Hoping to exchange it for some food. Lin Shun compared the information repeatedly several times before confirming that the unknown crystal listed on the trading system was exactly the barrier crystal identified by his chef system's point evaluation. He hastened to send a private message to the seller. Honest little chef. Brother, where did you get that unknown crystal you posted on the trading market? Lin Shun nearly let slip critical information. Electrician Wang. You're interested in this item, friend? Electrician Wang. Mate, I haven't eaten anything for an entire day. I'll take just about any food in exchange. Honest little chef. I need to know what it actually is first. I just thought this stone looked interesting, so I asked. Electrician Wang. I won't lie to you. I have no clue what it is either. Electrician Wang. Today I went out hunting for treasure chests. Far off, atop a hill beside the highway, I spotted an abandoned signal tower. I figured there had to be supplies inside, so I spent a whole day climbing up there. Electrician Wang. Turns out there was nothing inside the tower at all. Electrician Wang. I searched every corner of that signal tower and only found a signal transmitter. I thought I could salvage the mainboard for future use. When I pried open the casing. Electrician Wang. The mainboard was completely corroded. A pale purple crystalline substance had formed on its heat sink. Electrician Wang. I thought it was some sort of salt formed by corrosion. I scraped it off with a screwdriver and collected it in a small bottle. Electrician Wang. I tested it with a multimeter. It conducts no electricity or current. It's neither copper nor iron. If you want it, we can work out a simple trade with whatever you can offer. Honest little chef, it looks decent. How much of this substance do you have? If there's a large quantity, I can trade food for all of it. Electrician Wang. Plenty. I scraped every bit I could find back then. Electrician Wang sent over an item preview. Half bottle of unknown crystals, 15 pieces. At the sight of this information, Lin Shen's heart skipped a beat. He swallowed the curse rising in his throat. He had truly stumbled onto an unbelievable bargain. Old sayings never lie. He immediately used the chef system to identify the item. Half bottle of uneven barrier crystals, 15 pieces, 1,000 points. The value was slightly lower than he had anticipated. Evidently, Electrician Wang had posted the largest single crystal for trade first. Lin Shen resolved to take this half bottle of crystals without hesitation. Honest little chef, it seems worthwhile. Hand over the entire half bottle, and I'll trade you 1 can of luncheon meat. Electrician Wang. Really? Electrician Wang. I accept. I'll take the deal. Send the trade request right away. Electrician Wang sent a trade application. A smooth trade was completed. Electrician Wang thanked Lin Shen profusely, eager to enjoy his evening meal. Lin Shen took out the newly acquired barrier crystals and selected detailed inspection. Items listed on the trading market could only be appraised for point value. Their full properties remained hidden. He was curious to learn exactly what these crystals were. Barrier crystal. Description: residual crystals left behind after purple crystal moths emerge from their cocoons. Pale purple hexagonal crystals that feel icy cold to the touch. Remnants after psychic-type mutated creatures break out of their shells. Can be used to upgrade psychic barriers. A precious item, yet useless to Lin Shen. Perfect. I won't have to agonize over whether to keep this treasure for later use. Lin Shen stared at the barrier crystals, his mind racing. He wondered if he could leverage the identification ability of the chef system to stockpile resources that would inevitably rise in value, selling them once other survivors learned of their functions later on. Barrier crystals served as a perfect example. He could easily imagine how valuable they would become in the later stages of highway survival, though he still had no idea what psychic attacks even were. Lin Shen smiled at the thought and pushed the plan aside. From now on, he would browse the trading market regularly whenever he had spare time. Half bottle of uneven barrier crystals, 15 pieces converted to 1,000 points. Lin Shen's grin stretched, so wide it could not be concealed. I've never held this many points before. He quickly navigated to the upgrade page, but froze at the final confirmation prompt. He held 1147 points in total, which was not an overwhelming amount. Lin Shen still had his eye on special items available in the shop. Moreover, once he upgraded his tricycle, he would also need to upgrade his power generation equipment, which would drive resource consumption up by more than double. He would push through the hardship for a better future. Lin Shen suppressed his impulse to spend points recklessly and continued scrolling through the regional chat channel and trading listings. In the chat channel, Honest Little Chef gained 1 more follower. Electrician Wang enthusiastically recounted to everyone in the group how Honest Little Chef had traded a can of luncheon meat for his half bottle of seemingly worthless stones. The chat channel erupted once more. Survivors tagged Honest Little Chef nonstop, posting photos of all sorts of odd supplies. After skimming through the messages, Lin Chun confirmed one truth. Most of the time, items nobody wants really are just worthless junk. He browsed the rest of the trading market afterward and concluded there would be no more great bargains tonight. It was only the first day, after all, and everyone possessed limited supplies. Still, he discovered several interesting developments. Some survivors posted crafting blueprints on the trading market, offering to process materials for a service fee, and their business appeared to be thriving. Basic Module Blueprint 8/10, able to accept up to 10 units of crafting materials. The type and grade of the finished module are determined based on the materials invested. In the comments section, users had summarized 3 commonly used crafting formulas. Iron ingot plus copper ingot plus lumber equals basic reinforced timber. Iron ingot plus rubber plus cloth equals tire reinforcement module. Iron ingot plus copper ingot plus plastic equals basic electric power module. There were still too few samples and blueprint holders to fully understand how material quantities impacted module grade. So these formulas circulating in chat could only serve as references. Now that he knew blueprints existed, Lin Chun posted a message in the group chat. Honest Little Chef, I am permanently purchasing all kitchenware blueprints. Any blueprint for cooking equipment is welcome. The moment the message appeared, the chat channel that had been discussing other topics exploded. Message scrolling speed tripled instantly. Wonger Motzi at Honest Little Chef Boss. You've finally spoken. I'll keep an eye out whenever I open treasure chests. If I find any kitchenware blueprints, I'll trade them to you immediately. No extra compensation needed. Northwest Hammer King. Wow, it's really Honest Little Chef. Angler who never returns empty-handed. Boss Little Chef. Could you list some food on the trading market? Word says your cooking tastes incredible. Love my job. Stop pestering him. The boss has his own rules. He doesn't offer takeaway meals, so he definitely won't post food for trade. Soft Sugar Bear. Sniff. Why is it like this? I'm starving. Electrician Wong. The boss is a good person. I'm sure he has his own difficulties. The chat channel devolved into a noisy argument. Lin Chun silently closed the channel. He had not held high hopes anyway. He suspected any kitchenware crafted from these player blueprints would never match the quality of items sold in the chef system shop. After all, each craft had its own specialist, and the chef system specialized in culinary supplies. He decided to rest. As his thoughts wandered, Lin Chun leaned back against the metal seat and gradually drifted off to sleep. On this night, some slept warmly, others shivered from cold. Many wept in despair, and a few trudged forward through darkness. The first night on the path of survival slowly passed, wrapped in silence and unease. When pale light streaked the horizon, Lin Chun was jolted awake by a system notification chime. Ding. Newcomer protection period remaining, 2 days 0 hours. Emergency ration activated. Corn +1. He rubbed his aching shoulders and sat upright, gazing into the distance. Thick darkness had faded away. Withered grass and bare earthen slopes came back into view, while the fog still lingered at the edge of sight, far behind him. Lin Chun opened the regional chat channel, and a flood of scrolling messages appeared instantly. Region ID, 43547. Online survivors, 9721. Overnight, another 154 survivors had vanished forever along this highway. Lin Chun ignored all the reflections and lamentations flooding the chat. His top priority was gathering supplies to prepare for the coming eternal night. Compared to many other survivors, his vehicle was already falling behind. He decided to travel onward first before opening his food stall. He had slept restlessly through the night. The hard metal backrest dug into his bones. Lin Chun massaged his stiff shoulders, flexed his rigid wrists, and pedaled his reinforced tricycle back onto the road. The upgrades to the frame were obvious. The axle that creaked with every pedal stroke before now operated nearly silently. The wobbly frame felt far more stable, and pedaling required much less effort. Despite improved efficiency, it was still fundamentally human-powered transport. Morning wind swept past, carrying the bitter scent of dry grass mixed with a faint, unsettling tang. Lin Chun frowned and instinctively slowed his speed. This stretch of road was far more desolate than yesterday. Not a single edible wild plant grew beside the path. Only loose gravel rolled beneath his wheels, making crisp clicking sounds. The 2 resource chests he found yesterday had been situated on flat ground beside the highway. But after reading discussions in the chat channel, Lin Chun understood treasure chests spawned far more frequently deep within the wilderness. Away from the main road, opportunity always came hand in hand with danger. On the highway, Treasure chest monsters might spawn only after opening chests. Deep within the wilderness, wandering mutated creatures roamed freely. Thinking about the impenetrable protection offered by his fragrance-traveling food cart, Lin Chen turned his handlebars slightly and veered off into the wilderness. As soon as he left the highway, the ground grew bumpy and uneven. He had to stand and push hard on the pedals every time he crossed a small earthen ridge. After traveling only a short distance, a thin layer of sweat covered his forehead. Treasure chests blended seamlessly into the landscape, easy to overlook if one failed to pay close attention. He traveled roughly 500 meters farther when rustling noises came from a low thicket to his right front. He might not have noticed the sound if the surrounding silence had not been so absolute, and if he had not maintained maximum vigilance. Lin Chen's heart tightened. He slammed on the brakes and pulled his beginner kitchen knife from his backpack. Holding his breath, he stared at the rustling bushes. Even with the absolute protection of his food cart, getting tangled up by mutated creatures would be a massive hassle. Sharp squeaking cut through the air. Black rats, nearly twice the size of ordinary rats, darted out of the thicket. Their fur glistened, their eyes glowed eerie dark red, and sharp fangs shimmered coldly. These mutated rats appeared to be guarding something. They kept their distance from the food cart, pacing back and forth while letting out shrill screeches nonstop. Lin Chen attempted to ride away, yet the mutated rats did not give chase. It seemed they truly were guarding whatever lay deeper in the brush. He halted the tricycle, stroked his chin, and observed the three rats. After locking eyes with them for a moment, Lin Chen formulated a plan. He turned the tricycle around and slowly rode toward the thicket behind the mutated rats. Seeing his movement, the three rats grew agitated, squeaking frantically. As Lin Chen drew near the bushes, one rat let out a sharp cry and lunged straight for the food cart. The instant its claws touched the front wheel rim, it was violently repelled by an invisible force. The rat screeched and flew backward, tumbling across the dirt several times before scrambling back onto its paws. The other two mutated rats appeared startled and paused, yet continued circling Lin Chen, squeaking relentlessly. As Lin Chen edged closer to the thicket, the remaining two rats lost their restraint and charged at him one after another. Every attack was repelled by the food cart's barrier. Ignoring the frantic rodents, Lin Chen slowly rode past the bushes and scanned the ground carefully. Behind the thicket sat an iron treasure chest. It was noticeably larger than the wooden resource chests he had found previously. The dark gray metal surface was covered in rust, with bite marks lining the edges. Clearly, the three mutated rats were not native guardians of the chest. They had simply been drawn to it. Lin Chen stayed seated on his tricycle. Leaning halfway out, he reached down and lifted the metal chest. Now that he possessed the chest, he eyed the injured rats. Strike while they were weakened. Lin Chen grabbed his kitchen knife, hopped off the cart, and charged toward one of them. Seeing his advance, the three rats appeared to dismiss Lin Chen as a threat. They bared their fangs and lunged together. Lin Chen was ready. He dodged the leading rat's pounce and swept his knife sideways, cutting deep into its back. A wet squelch echoed as the blade sank into the rat's body. Dark red blood splattered across the ground. The rat let out a shrill dying scream, twitched a few times, and went still. The other two mutated rats froze for a split second. Lin Chen pressed forward. The rats were wounded and exhausted, making this the perfect moment to finish them off. He sprinted ahead and struck each one down with a single clean slash. Mutated creature corpse detected. Options: dissect to obtain 6 servings of rat meat, or convert corpse to 30 points. Lin Chen pulled free his knife and wiped blood off the blade. Staring at the 3 rat carcasses on the ground, he chose without hesitation to convert them to points. Even if rat meat was edible, he had no desire to cook it for customers, let alone eat it himself. Plus 30 points. Current total points, 1177. Lin Chen returned to his food cart and picked up the iron treasure chest. Ding. Black iron tier resource chest detected. Open now. Newcomer protection tip. Opening a black iron tier chest carries a relatively high chance of summoning a treasure chest monster. Lin Chen raised an eyebrow. So those 3 rats had not spawned from this chest. They had been lured here by whatever lay inside. Still, the system warning of potential summoned creatures demanded caution. He gripped his kitchen knife tightly, stepped back 2 paces, and leaned against the food cart. Still feeling uneasy, he picked up the chest and sat back down on the metal seat. Using his mind, he selected Open. Click. The chest's metal latch popped free, and the lid slowly creaked upward. A faint rust odor drifted outward. Nothing happened for several seconds after the chest opened. Lin Chen exhaled in relief and stepped forward to inspect its contents. At first glance, The chest appeared empty. Lin Chen blinked in confusion. Upon closer inspection, a tiny trembling rat huddled in the corner of the chest. It bore no resemblance to the vicious mutated rats he had just fought. It was only half the size of his palm, covered in soft pale gray downy fur, devoid of any hostility. Its pure black eyes stared timidly at Lin Chen's knife, its small frame shaking like a leaf caught in autumn wind. All that trouble defeating 3 giant rats, and all I get is this little thing? Lin Chen could not help a bitter laugh, freezing mid-motion with knife raised. An empty chest felt even more frustrating than summoning a monster. He had hoped to find cold briquettes to prepare for the eternal night. Yet he walked away with nothing but this fragile-looking rodent. Ding. Special creature detected. Treasure-seeking rat juvenile. At the notification from the chef system, Lin Chen's eyes lit up. Treasure-seeking rat? He leaned closer to examine the small creature and activated the system's detailed inspection. Special creature, treasure-seeking rat. Stage, juvenile. Trait, possesses an innate, exceptional sense of smell for metals, energy crystals, and resource chests. Able to sense hidden supplies within a 100-meter radius. Non-aggressive, fears all creatures stronger than itself. Description, extremely rare, neutral rare creature. Once fully grown, it can detect rare treasure chests and special materials several kilometers away. Lin Chen stared at the gray little rodent, excitement shining in his eyes. The rat grew even more frightened, clinging tightly to the chest wall with delicate claws, not daring to make a sound. Lin Chen did not attempt to touch it, fearing he might terrify the fragile creature to death. He opened the point shop via mental command and purchased the 100-flavor Beast Tamer Feast Box without hesitation. Ding. 100 points consumed. Obtained 100-flavor Beast Tamer Feast Box times 1. Current points, 1077. A palm-sized silver box materialized in Lin Chen's hands, its surface etched with intricate patterns of food. Ding. Please select a target creature for binding. Target locked. Treasure-seeking rat juvenile. Target is a D+ tier juvenile creature. Binding cost, 500 points. Proceed? Lin Chen clicked his tongue, lamenting the loss of his newly earned points. Bind it. He added 2 exclamation marks to voice his frustration. Ding. 500 points consumed. Current points, 577. Binding complete. The box will produce 3 servings of exclusive creature feed every day. Only satisfies basic survival needs. The owner may provide additional food voluntarily. The box lid slowly lifted, revealing 3 spherical pink feed pellets that emitted a gentle fragrance. Lin Chen picked one up and sniffed it. The primary ingredients appeared to be mashed sweet potato, cooked egg yolk, and honey. There were other components he could not identify. Lin Chen cursed the greedy system under his breath. He gently set one piece of food before the little mouse. The sweet aroma instantly overpowered the rust stench wafting from the treasure chest. The mouse twitched its pink nose, hesitating for a long while, yet temptation finally won out. It cautiously poked its tiny head out, snatched a quick bite, then darted back, watching Lin Chen warily. Seeing Lin Chen truly meant it no harm, it slowly let its guard down and crept forward to nibble the food bit by bit. The little creature looked starved. It devoured the portion nearly half its size in a few bites. Once finished, it licked its paws and lifted its head, gazing at Lin Chen with pleading eyes. Ding. Target creature favorability plus 30. Current favorability, 30. Taming unavailable. Lin Chen placed another piece inside. He had no idea how much favorability was required to form a bond. If all 3 portions failed, he would have no other options. Would he need to purchase another 100-flavor beast taming food box? Ding. Target creature favorability plus 30. Current favorability, 60. Use 100-flavor beast taming food box to attempt taming? Note. After successful taming, this food box will be bound exclusively to this creature and cannot be reassigned. In the blink of an eye, the second portion of taming feed had already been eaten by the mouse. Lin Chen stared at the food box in exasperation. What kind of nonsense was that? If he did not tame it, what other choice did he have? Even if reassignment were possible, would the system refund the original 500 survival points? Buying a new box would make more sense than switching bindings. Yes. Lin Chen thought the whole process was overly bureaucratic. If he could, he would file a complaint against the system for meaningless formalities. Soft white light emanated from the silver food box, enveloping the little mouse. Instead of struggling, the creature squinted its eyes in comfort. When the light faded, a pale gray mouse mark appeared on the surface of the food box, and an almost invisible thin silver band circled the mouse's neck. Ding. Bond established successfully. Name, unnamed. Race, treasure-seeking mouse juvenile. Rank, D+. Skills. Primary treasure detection. Sense wooden and bronze treasure chests within a 500-meter radius. Can dispatch the pet to retrieve treasure. Note: pets sent out alone risk death. Danger provision. Detect low-grade mutated creatures and hazard zones within a 200-meter radius. Storage. Possesses one special storage slot capable of holding treasure chests. Loyalty. 100 permanently locked after bonding. Will never betray. Lin Shun read the panel information, grinning widely from ear to ear. This was an incredible gang. Even 10 ordinary iron treasure chests could not compare to this treasure-seeking mouse. With it, he would no longer need to scour the roadside for chests manually, greatly boosting his efficiency. You shall be called Gray from now on. Lin Shun stretched out a finger and lightly stroked the mouse's head. Gray did not shy away. Instead, it rubbed affectionately against his fingertip, its tail wagging cheerfully. It scampered up his wrist and settled on his shoulder. Ding! The treasure-seeking mouse has been named Gray. Lin Shun was about to leave when he noticed the iron treasure chest he had opened earlier had somehow closed. A bold idea crossed his mind, and he reached out to touch the chest again. Ding! Black tier resource, chest detected. Open. Ding! The chest guardian creature for this chest has already been summoned. No creature will spawn upon opening this time. Lin Shun could not help patting the iron chest hard twice. The sound echoed far away. He stroked Gray perched on his shoulder and chuckled. So you were the terrifying chest monster all along. You really gave me a fright. It was unclear whether Gray understood him, yet it squeaked happily, wagging its tail even faster. Open. Congratulations. You have obtained premium coal briquettes ×8, thermal underwear E×1, travel backpack E×1, purified water ×3, hardtack ×4, instant noodles ×1, survival coins ×150. Talent. Roadside harvest triggered. Bonus loot. Potatoes ×3, carrots ×2, eggs ×4, shiitake mushrooms ×2. A black tier chest truly delivers. Lin Shun was overjoyed. He pulled out all the items from the chest one by one. Premium coal briquette. Specially refined coal briquettes producing 3 times the heat of ordinary ones. 1 unit burns for 3 hours. Thermal underwear E. Practical thermal underwear that automatically adjusts to the wearer's physique. Maintains warmth in environments above 0 degrees Celsius. Travel backpack E. Essential travel gear. Equipping it unlocks 8 extra inventory slots. Lin Shun equipped the backpack immediately. Though it looked quite large, he barely felt its weight on his back. His spirits lifted, and even the desolate landscape seemed far more agreeable. He instructed Gray to search for treasure chests and sense nearby threats. Gray squeaked twice and curled up into a fluffy ball. Was this its working state? Staring at the fluffy little ball, Lin Shun carefully tucked Gray into the front pocket of his jacket. Good heavens, it was utterly adorable. Returning to the highway, Lin Shun immediately selected Open Shop. Judging by the sky, he would need to keep the shop running well into the night. Free from constantly scanning the roadside for chests, and with his vehicle reinforced the previous night, Lin Shun rode noticeably faster than yesterday. He accelerated forward, scrolling through the chat module and browsing the trading post as he traveled. It was still early, and the goods available on the trading post remained much the same as the night before. The chat channel buzzed with activity. Wong Air Motzi. Holy cow. Guys, huge discovery. I just opened a wooden treasure chest and found survival coins inside. 15 of them. 3 sugar milk tea. What even are survival coins? All I got yesterday was junk. Never seen this currency. Just wanna lie low. I just opened one too. It's real. 8 survival coins. The system says it's universal currency for the whole region. Old Joe from the construction site. Damn. I thought I was the only one. I kicked up a bronze chest a moment ago and got 50. What can these coins buy? Can I trade them for gasoline? Old 8's secret burger. Quit asking pointless questions. Nobody knows how to use them. The system hasn't explained anything. I love work. Just confirmed. The trade channel updated. We can buy items directly with survival coins now. No more bartering. Lee, starving exhausted. I have 22 survival coins. Anyone selling food? I'll give all 22 for a single hot meal. Veteran soldier Zhao. New observation. All treasure chests have a chance to drop survival coins. Higher tier chests yield more. I suspect station stores and vehicle upgrades will require these coins later on. Everyone should conserve them. Lin Shun silently read through the chat logs. Survival coins were not exclusive to black tier chests. All chests could drop them. It seemed the survival system would update gradually as time passed. That also explained why the barrier crystals he collected yesterday were marked unknown crystals. The relevant game mechanics had not yet unlocked back then. Squeak. Gray poked its head out of the front pocket all of a sudden, squeaking toward an earthen slope on the left. It pointed a tiny paw in that direction, its black eyes shining brightly. Ding! Gray marked a resource chest. Bronze resource chest ×1, 320 meters away. Dispatch pet? Linchin stopped his bike and held Gray in his palms. Gray blinked its big eyes at him, seemingly waiting for orders. Gray, turn back immediately if you encounter danger. The treasure chest means nothing compared to your safety. Do you understand? Linchin said solemnly. Squeak. Gray nodded, its tail flicking back and forth, looking delighted. Dispatch. Linchin confirmed the command in his mind. The moment he made the selection, Gray streaked away in a flash. Seeing how swiftly it moved eased Lin Chen's worries significantly. Lin Chen climbed slowly off the bike and stretched his limbs. He decided to cook while waiting for Gray to return. He stroked his chin, pondering lunch options. Instant noodles and hardtack were long-lasting and required no cooking tools tied to his chef system, so he would save those to exchange for points tonight. Lin Chen planned to treat himself to a meat dish. He took out pork, potatoes, carrots, ginger, garlic, and dried chili peppers. He split the pork and ginger in half. The item information updated instantly to half chunk of pork and half ginger root. He stored half the pork and ginger back in the food cart and prepared to start cooking. Just then, a system prompt sounded. Ding! Customer approaching. A low motorcycle engine roar echoed in the distance. A camouflage military motorcycle slowly rolled into view, its frame covered in scratches. The rider was a woman in a white lab coat. She lifted her helmet, revealing a weary face. Suwon climbed off the bike and walked up to the food cart. You are the honest chef, aren't you? My name is Suwon, a surgeon. My vehicle draw was this military motorcycle. Lin Chen set down his cooking utensils and looked up. Welcome to my shop. What would you like to order, Miss Su? Suwon was roughly 23 or 24 years old. She had sharp features, a straight nose, and thin lips pressed into a firm line. Her short black hair was disheveled from the helmet, with strands sticking to her sweat-damp forehead, and dark circles lingered beneath her eyes, proof she had not slept properly for more than one night. Her wrinkled white coat had sleeves rolled up to her forearms, revealing smooth wrists with defined knuckles. Thin calluses marked the base of her thumbs, formed from years holding surgical scalpels. Though she looked worn out from travel, her almond eyes remained clear and sharp, radiating calm competence. Suwon sized Lin Chen up carefully. She felt a flicker of surprise. She had assumed anyone thriving in this survival world would either be a burly fighter or a shrewd veteran. She never expected it to be such a clean, mild-looking young chef. I'll have the scallion sweet potato egg bake that Wang Air Matzi talked about, plus any random dish. Suwon glanced at the ingredients laid out on the counter and added, stir-fried pork. She had clearly set her sights on that half chunk of pork. Lin Chen smiled. My shop posts clear prices. Are you sure, Miss Su? Suwon unfolded a portable table and chairs and set them out. I read what Wang Air Matzi and the others said. If your food lives up to their descriptions, I can afford it. Lin Chen raised an eyebrow. It seemed he had a wealthy customer. He should find a way to sell more goods. He fetched another portion of ingredients. He planned to cook 2 servings at once, one for himself. He lit the stove with coal. He quickly sliced the pork into evenly thin cuts, marinating them with a dash of soy sauce and flour to lock in juices. Without starch available, flour was his makeshift substitute. Thankfully, his cooking proficiency and kitchenware bonuses guaranteed great flavor regardless. While the meat marinated, he prepared garlic and ginger strips. He sliced potatoes and carrots, rinsing them in clean water to wash away excess surface starch before draining thoroughly. This was to prevent sticking and burning during stir-frying. He poured clear cooking oil into the wok. When the oil warmed, he added dried chili segments. The peppers curled slowly in the oil, releasing a spicy aroma and brightening to a vivid crimson. Next came crushed garlic and sliced ginger. The hot oil hitting the ingredients produced a steady sizzle, blending spicy and aromatic scents that whetted anyone's appetite. He tossed the marinated pork slices into the wok and stir-fried rapidly to separate them. The meat lost its raw pink hue and curled slightly. He scooped it out the moment it turned tender and glossy, preserving its juiciness. He left residual oil in the wok and added the potato and carrot slices, stirring continuously over high heat. Golden potatoes and orange carrots tumbled in the wok, releasing their natural sweetness amid the cooking smoke. Once the surfaces of the vegetables dried slightly, he poured a small amount of water along the wok's rim, lowered the heat to medium-low, and covered the wok to simmer gently. The steam softened the firm root vegetables. The potatoes turned tender and translucent, while the carrots soaked up the oil and spices, taking on a warm, rich color. He poured the reserved pork back into the wok and tossed everything quickly over high heat. Fine salt was sprinkled in to season every ingredient evenly. After several rounds of stirring, the moisture in the wok condensed into thin, glossy sauce clinging to every piece of food. He turned off the heat and plated the dish. The glossy pork was tender and juicy, the potatoes soft, and the carrots crisp and sweet. Shades of brown, gold, and orange intertwined. Steam carried meat fragrance, spice aroma, and fresh vegetable scent, making the dish irresistibly appetizing. Ding! Host has created E+ grade cuisine, stir-fried pork with potatoes and carrots. Rating: 88 Master Cooking bonus plus 20, Fine Iron Cleaver bonus plus 2. Note: cuisine rated above 80 restores an additional 10 stamina for survivors. System price: 50 points. Lin Shin placed the plated stir-fry and disposable chopsticks on Su Wan's table. He watched Su Wan sit gracefully on the folding chair and could not help envying her portable furniture. Warm aromas drifted outward with curling white steam. The saucy pork glistened, paired with golden potatoes and orange carrots. Incredibly tempting. Su Wan ate swiftly yet maintained perfect poise. Her chopsticks moved steadily, always picking up a balanced mix of meat and vegetables with each bite, fluid and unhurried. The sauce-coated pork melted tenderly on her tongue, the soft potatoes blending with the fresh sweetness of carrots. Rich flavors unfolded slowly across her palate. Her eyelashes fluttered. She was clearly stunned by the taste and ate even faster. Yet her posture stayed upright, with strands of hair remaining neatly in place. Lin Shin stared, a classic line popping into his mind, precise and elegant. He set aside thoughts of payment and returned to the food cart to prepare the scallion sweet potato egg bake. He spent 1 point purchasing 2 units of wild scallions from the shop and began cooking skillfully. As he worked, he struck up conversation with Su Wan. "You look like you've traveled non-stop, Miss Su. Did you not rest last night?" Su Wan continued eating rapidly while replying. "I drove all night." She paused suddenly, chopsticks halting mid-air. "I'm actually curious. I traveled all night, yet never passed your stall ahead on the road. How do you move so fast? Your vehicle does not look particularly swift." Lin Shin blinked in surprise. "To be honest, I have no clue. Maybe encounters happen randomly along this highway." At that moment, Gray darted out from the earthen slope like a gray lightning bolt and hopped onto Lin Shin's shoulder, as if showing off its achievements. Ding! Pet dispatch successful. Gray EXP plus 10. Lin Shin tucked Gray back into his jacket pocket, hoping Su Wan would not spot it. Su Wan narrowed her eyes slightly. "Is that so? It seems the chef is not as ordinary as he appears." He could not tell if she referred to Gray or his unusual food stall business on the survival highway. "You flatter me. I am just a simple cook selling meals," Lin Shin said, never pausing his cooking. "Do you have reason to rush all night? Everyone else in the world chat seems to rest." Su Wan looked dismissive. "The others? They lack any sense of crisis. I suspect most will not survive the first natural disaster. They underestimate this survival game." Whether fueled by the food in her stomach or now willing to open up, she slowed her eating pace. "You do not seem like an ordinary person either, so I will tell you. From the very first day, a group of us secretly contacted each other to lay groundwork for a guild. We merely wait for the right item to officially establish it. The guild only accepts elite members. Our fastest leader has already reached the first station, a trading hub. We suspect the survival coins dropping from chests and the newly unlocked friend system activated. Because our leader arrived at the station, many people have not even noticed these updates. According to the leader, the station shop can exchange survival coins for nearly anything imaginable, including rare items such as talent awakening potions. Right now, our guild members scour every treasure chest they can find. Using remote trades through our leader at the station, we exchange loot to boost our strength. We also plan to purchase the world's first guild token to formally create our guild. Would you be interested in joining us, chef?" Su Wan spoke at length, then set down her chopsticks and stared intently at Lin Shin. Lin Shin kept cooking and offered no reply. Silence fell, broken only by the sounds of him preparing food. He realized he had vastly underestimated the diverse, formidable survivors on this highway. He had imagined everyone in the survival chat were casual, chatty folks, yet the front-running group had already reached the first station barely 1 day in. Truthfully, Lin Shin felt a flicker of alarm. Still, he knew his own situation. He could not join any guild. His best path was to keep running his food stall honestly. The scallion sweet potato egg bake finished cooking, and Lin Shin carried the plate over to the table. Ding! Host has created E-grade cuisine scallion sweet potato egg bake. Rating: 90 Master Cooking bonus plus 20, Fine Iron Cleaver bonus plus 2. Note: Cuisine rated above 90 restores an additional 10 stamina for survivors and carries a chance to boost stamina attribute. System price, 30 points. Suwon pulled out another folding chair. Lin Shen did not hesitate and sat across from her. He had no intention of eating alongside her as the shopkeeper. It would complicate calculating the bill later. He simply wanted to continue their conversation. My circumstances differ greatly from yours. Lin Shen sighed softly. I must decline your invitation, Miss Su. It's obvious. Suwon did not seem surprised by Lin Shen's reply. To operate a food stall along this route clearly means the little chef has blazed a unique path. The union has also reached out to many lone survivors. Suwon continued, eating her meal gracefully. This is only one district. One can only imagine how many formidable individuals exist across this world. Still, we could strike a deal, Lin Shen said. I can't make it happen right now, but there may be other opportunities further down the line. Suwon responded at once. Just hearing you say that, Boss Lin, is more than enough. As she spoke, Suwon pulled a vial of potion out of her bag and set it on the table. Talent Awakening Potion Grade D, 500 points. Talent Awakening Potion Grade D. Awakens a talent matching the user's experiences and strengths. The success rate depends on the user's personal background and expertise. Lin Shen gasped. This was an extremely valuable item. These two dishes aren't worth nearly this much. Lin Shen silently cursed his system. The 2 meals only totaled 80 survival credits. I know exactly what it's worth. Suwon shook her head. The exhaustion weighing on her from last night had melted away after eating his food. If she could get an endless supply of these meals, she would barely need rest at all, and her scavenging efficiency would surge. My shop operates honestly, fair to every customer. Lin Shen maintained a righteous front, while inwardly complaining relentlessly. Consider it a gift from me. From Suwon's perspective, this was merely the union's introductory gesture. If Lin Shen refused, it would likely signal he was unwilling to pursue cooperation, and she still hoped to win him over. This shopkeeper lives by clean principles and never accepts gifts. Lin Shen kept up his solemn act, then lowered his voice just loud enough for Suwon to hear. Unless we complete a formal system trade. Suwon watched Lin Shen tilt his head upward at a 45-degree angle, wondering if she had misheard him. Ding. Player Surgical Diaochan sends you a trade request. Lin Shen stared at the trade panel. After a moment's hesitation, he placed 1 unit of timber from his backpack onto the offer. Trade successful. You obtain X1 Talent Awakening Potion Grade D. Suwon stared at Lin Shen for a long while before speaking slowly. The little chef shopkeeper truly is an interesting person. You mean ridiculous, don't you? Lin Shen thought to himself. A short time later, Suwon pulled a bottle of water from her backpack, took a couple of sips, finished the food, and prepared to leave. Seeing that she was genuinely about to depart, Lin Shen hurried to block her path. Miss Su, you haven't settled your bill yet. Suwon stared at Lin Shen in shock. One matter at a time. That comes to 80 survival credits. Lin Shen's cheeks burned slightly, and he could only grumble at the system in his mind. Helplessly, Suwon handed over 80 survival credits to Lin Shen and began gathering her belongings to leave once more. Miss Su, Lin Shen spoke up again. What now? Suwon folded her arms and glanced sideways at him. Her earlier favorable impression had almost entirely faded. Miss Su, would you consider selling this set of tables and chairs? Lin Shen had checked it before. A foldable wooden table and chair set valued at 15 points. Within a 20% price fluctuation range. Suwon narrowed her eyes and said nothing, simply holding his gaze. Lin Shen's forehead grew damp with sweat, and he dared not meet her stare. You can have them. Suwon let out a huff, then turned and walked toward her motorcycle. Please come back anytime, Miss Su. Lin Shen was in high spirits. Just as he had guessed, Suwon held abundant resources. If he had pushed harder just now, he might have managed to get even more goods from her. Don't forget to send me a friend request. With those words, Suwon started her motorcycle and rode away without looking back. As soon as Suwon was gone, Lin Shen hastily took out the Talent Awakening Potion. X1 Talent Awakening Potion Grade D. Use it now? Yes. Lin Shen eagerly imagined unlocking some awe-inspiring, powerful ability. Yet several minutes passed with no response from the system, and the potion remained intact. Could this be counterfeit? Lin Shen turned the potion over and over in his hands, but found nothing unusual. Ding. Talent Awakening failed for unknown reasons. Lin Shen sighed and considered several possibilities. It might be because he already possessed multiple talents. Still, something felt off. If that were the reason, the system should have provided a clear notification. It was most likely code conflicts. If he wanted to grow stronger, he could only rely on items from the God Chef Point's shop. He sighed again, wondering if he ought to exchange the Talent Awakening Potion with the God Chef system for its 500-point value. But this item was incredibly rare. On the open market, buyers would likely offer over 1,000 points for it. At the same time, he dared not list it publicly on the trading marketplace. It would spell trouble if anyone from Su Wan's union discovered it. Lin Chen stored the Talent Awakening Potion safely. He planned to hold on to it for a while longer and conduct an anonymous trade once buyers appeared on the market. Leaving no trail back to him, he pulled Little Gray out from his chest pocket and set him on his palm. Dry grass debris clung to the little creature's fur, evidence of the long journey. It seemed displeased, curling into a ball and ignoring Lin Chen. "You've worked hard, Gray. You're amazing." Lin Chen leaned down and stroked him. "I'll make you something delicious soon." Only then did Little Gray poke out his head and flick his tail. Lin Chen opened Little Gray's status panel and retrieved a treasure chest from the special items compartment, placing it on the ground. As he touched the bronze chest, a notification appeared instantly. Ding! Bronze resource chest detected. "Open it now." Lin Chen glanced toward Little Gray. He wanted to test whether the creature's early warning talent worked on treasure chests. Little Gray stared up at Lin Chen with wide eyes and gave no reaction. There was no way to tell if the chest was safe, or if Little Gray's ability could not detect mimic chest monsters. He would have to find out. "Open. Congratulations. You receive X1 Basic Medical Kit, X3 Gasoline, X5 Coal Briquettes, X2 Timber, 100 Survival Credits. Talent. Harvest along the way triggered. Bonus loot obtained. X2 Chicken Meat, X2 Tomatoes, X2 Leaf Greens, X1 Ginger." Lin Chen resisted the urge to lift Little Gray up and shower him with affection. "You're such a treasure." Lin Chen quickly roasted an ear of corn, then took the warm potato, carrot, and pork stir-fry from the food cart's counter. He sat down on the newly acquired foldable wooden chair and set Little Gray on the tabletop. He spent 1 point purchasing a bottle of water. Points 1. Current points, 575. He split the corn in half, giving 1 piece to Little Gray, and set the stir-fry between them. Man and rodent began eating together. "Truly, no one cooks better than me," Lin Chen thought smugly. He felt his stamina rapidly restoring as he ate. He recalled Su Wan's earlier words. It was clear he needed to keep moving without delay. After finishing the last bite of food, Lin Chen prepared to pack up the furniture and set off. The system saved him a great deal of tedious work. Ding! Consumed special food. Stamina +1. The same special food can only grant this bonus once. The same warm sensation washed over him as it had on the first day, heat spreading through his whole body. Lin Chen was overjoyed. "I must be the favored child of fate. Who could possibly say I have bad luck?" Judging by Su Wan's reaction earlier, she had not managed to trigger this permanent stat boost. Still, the exact odds required further testing. After all, taking 1 bite counted as eating the dish, just as finishing an entire bowl did. The portion consumed likely affected the chance of activating the bonus. Lin Chen looked down at Little Gray, who was now lying on the table rubbing his full belly. "My heart melts completely." He tucked Little Gray back into his chest pocket and stowed the table and chairs in his backpack. Full and energized, it was time to depart. He switched Little Gray to search mode, then pedaled his tricycle while browsing the system interface. First, he located the friend function Su Wan had mentioned. Dozens of pending friend requests waited. Most senders were simply begging for food. Lin Chen skimmed through them quickly and found no players offering construction or crafting blueprints for trade. He accepted requests from all his previous customers and rejected every other applicant without hesitation. The moment he confirmed the requests, a flood of messages pinged in succession. Wanger Motzi. "Boss, you finally accepted. I thought you'd turn me down." Wanger Motzi. "I've made progress lately. I upgraded my vehicle, improving shock absorption and speed. My scavenging efficiency is way higher now. I couldn't have done it without your help back then." Wanger Motzi. "I've got plenty of survival credits saved up now. When can I visit your food cart again? I'm dying for your cooking. Conscientious little chef. There will be opportunities. It's not entirely under my control." Lin Chen exchanged brief pleasantries with Wanger Motzi. No critical information came out of their conversation. "I love work. Boss, you finally approved my request. I love work. I have something to ask you." A player called Veteran Zhao from the public chat channel asked me to find out if you know anything about Gene Awakening Potions. Lin Chen perked up at the mention of Gene Awakening Potions. Judging by the name, it sounded similar to Talent Awakening Potions, but he had never seen one in person and could not confirm its exact effects. "Conscientious little chef, I've heard of something similar. What's this about?" "I love work. I don't know many details myself. Veteran Zhao seems to be gathering information about it. I love work. No one in the group knows much. Everyone says you're well informed, so he asked me to pass the question along. Conscientious little chef. What kind of person is Veteran Zhao? Why is he looking for this potion? I love work. He strikes me as warm-hearted. He always alerts everyone in the group to incoming dangers and shares whatever news he finds right away. I love work. I have no idea why he's investigating the potion, though. I love work. I'm just delivering the message. If you're not interested, I can turn him down for you. Conscientious little chef. It's fine. I'd like to speak with him myself. I love work. Got it, boss. I'll send you his player profile. I love work. Shares player profile. Veteran Zhao. Accept. Conscientious little chef. Received. I'll message him later. Finally, he opened his chat with Su Wan to casually ask if she knew Veteran Zhao. Surgical Jiaochan. To cut to the chase, I've reported your situation to the union leader. Surgical Jiaochan. The leader is willing to pursue deep cooperation with you. Can you supply your food to us? Conscientious little chef. I can't manage that right now. Shrugging emoji. As I told you at the stall, my food cannot be taken off-site or listed on the public marketplace. Conscientious little chef. But once I upgrade my vehicle, there will be new ways for others to reach my food cart reliably. Surgical Jiaochan. Understood. I suspected as much. We've met the minimum threshold for cooperation at the very least. Surgical Jiaochan. As your partners, we can offer paid assistance to track down any supplies or items you require. Conscientious little chef. I'm looking to acquire cooking utensils and cooking utensil blueprints. Surgical Jiaochan. Very well. I'll keep an eye out. Conscientious little chef. One more thing. Surgical Jiaochan. Speak. Conscientious little chef. Do you know a player named Veteran Zhao? Surgical Jiaochan. Why are you asking about him? Conscientious little chef. He reached out to me seeking information. The other side went quiet for a long time, presumably sending messages to someone else. After quite a while, a reply arrived. Surgical Jiaochan. He is affiliated with the military district. Conscientious little chef. The military district? Surgical Jiaochan. That's right. Surgical Jiaochan. As I mentioned before, our union gained an early advantage thanks to the leader's strength. Surgical Jiaochan. He traveled non-stop last night and happened to arrive at the same station as our leader. Surgical Jiaochan. You might not know this, so I'll share the information free of charge. Every player arrives at a random station. The first station each survivor encounters is not necessarily identical. Surgical Jiaochan. Survivors from other regions with military backgrounds have awakened a telegraph talent, enabling cross-district communication. Many former military players in our zone have been recalled. Surgical Jiaochan. Veteran Zhao is one of them. Conscientious little chef. Are you and the military district rivals? Surgical Jiaochan. Not enemies. Just like you, we are potential partners. In this apocalypse, only mutual support lets people survive long-term. Surgical Jiaochan. Unlike our union, you cannot officially join the military district without proper official credentials. Surgical Jiaochan. We seek the most outstanding talents scattered across society. Conscientious little chef. I understand now. Surgical Jiaochan. I won't pry into your reasons for asking about him. Just remember, we treat our partners fairly. Working with us brings no disadvantages. Our philosophy is mutual benefit. Su Wan appeared unconcerned that Lin Chen might turn around and align himself with the military district instead. She knew he was a sharp man. They exchanged a few more messages before ending the conversation. I wonder what surprises this Veteran Zhao will bring me. His friend request to Zhao was accepted almost instantly. Lin Chen suspected the system sent special alert notifications to certain users. Otherwise, everyone he messaged today would not be responding so promptly. He made a mental note to research the system mechanics when he had time. Managing without a system spirit to consult was inconvenient. Veteran Zhao, little chef boss, it wasn't easy tracking you down. Conscientious little chef, it's not that difficult. I simply rarely check the public chat channels. Veteran Zhao, you can call me Zhao. I know you're a busy man. Since you accepted my friend request, I assume you have information regarding gene awakening potions? Conscientious little chef, Zhao, I hear you belong to the military district. Why seek information from outsiders? Veteran Zhao, word travels fast with you, boss. Veteran Zhao, I'll be frank. Top-tier survivors from every district have started arriving at the stations one after another. Veteran Zhao, according to available intelligence, the first station most survivors encounter is a trading station with no inherent dangers. Veteran Zhao, trading stations allow survivors to meet and exchange goods face-to-face, and they feature self-service vendor kiosks. Veteran Zhao, each station's kiosks stock different merchandise, purchasable only with survival credits. Leading survivors estimate that stock will never be restocked. Veteran Zhao. That makes certain resources extremely scarce, and Gene Awakening potions are among them. Reading Zhao's message, Lin Chun gained a clearer understanding of Su Wan's sincerity. He had originally assumed Su Wan's union had a powerful member who reached the trading station and could source unlimited quantities of such goods. Gene Awakening potions sounded functionally similar to Talent Awakening potions. If they boosted combat power alone, Lin Chun suspected they might even be stronger. Veteran Zhao. Now tell me, what information do you have, little chef boss? Conscientious little chef. I have no leads on Gene Awakening potions at the moment. Conscientious little chef. However, I possess one Talent Awakening potion. Would you be interested, Brother Zhao? Veteran Zhao. I should have expected nothing less from you, boss. Veteran Zhao. From certain perspectives, Talent Awakening potions can be even more valuable to a collective than Gene Awakening potions. Veteran Zhao. We can evaluate candidates and prioritize awakening talents that deliver the greatest benefit to our group. Veteran Zhao. What would you want in exchange? What should I ask for? Lin Chun stroked his chin in thought. If he asked purely for survival credits, he believed he could negotiate a price of 1,500, possibly even over 2,000. He thought back to the barrier crystal he had obtained the previous day and decided to raise his request first. Conscientious little chef. I'm looking for some special items. Conscientious little chef. Things your system labels as unknown when you check their details. They could be very useful to me. Veteran Zhao. Oh, do you have a method to identify these unknown objects? Lin Chun considered the matter and saw no reason to keep it secret. Conscientious little chef. Yes. I have unique methods only I can utilize. Veteran Zhao. Understood. I need to consult my superiors. He did not wait long for a reply from Zhao. Veteran Zhao. The organization agrees in principle. However, the items are not in my custody. Representatives from the organization will negotiate the exact trade terms with you. Professor Wang sends a friend recommendation forwarded by Veteran Zhao. Accept? Accept. Professor Wang. Hello, conscientious little chef. My name is Wang Xiaoming, but you may call me Professor Wang. Conscientious little chef. Hello, Professor Wang. Professor Wang. We tentatively approve your demand. Before proceeding, we will need to verify your ability to identify unknown items. Professor Wang shares item information, unknown stone. Professor Wang shares item information, unknown core. Professor Wang shares item information, unknown frame. Professor Wang shares item information, unknown crystal. Lin Chun was stunned seeing the list Professor Wang sent. It was only the early days of the catastrophe, and he wondered where the professor had collected so many anomalous artifacts. He doubted Wang would show him everything on their first meeting. The military district must possess talents capable of gathering materials from multiple zones. Conscientious little chef. I can only determine an item's name if I only receive its data. To learn its exact functions, I must make physical contact with the object itself. Professor Wang. Very well. Tell me the names first. Conscientious chef. Advanced Energy Stone. Eternal Day Light Core. Special Exoskeleton Frame. Geomantic Crystal Marrow. Lin Chun sent the names directly through the God of Cooking system. Among these 4 items, the most valuable was the Eternal Day Light Core, worth 2,000 points. Next came the Advanced Energy Stone and Geomantic Crystal Marrow at 700 points each, while the Special Exoskeleton Frame was valued at 500 points. Professor Wang. I have a cooperation proposal. I wonder if you would be interested. Conscientious chef. Please go ahead, Professor Wang. Professor Wang. We can purchase your appraisal services using survival coins. Basic item identification costs 200 points per use, and detailed appraisal costs 500 points per use. Professor Wang. I do not have the authority to trade items directly to you for appraisal. I know a fair bit about your situation. If any of our personnel enter the range of your food cart, we will have them conduct the detailed item appraisal. What do you think? Lin Chun's heart raced. The resources Su Wan possessed paled in comparison. The military commanded truly profound reserves and staggering stockpiles. Achoo! Far away, Su Wan sneezed and glanced around in confusion. Conscientious chef. That works for me. Professor Wang. Excellent. I am authorized to offer one of 3 items, the unidentified stone, that is, the Advanced Energy Stone, the Special Exoskeleton Frame, or the Geomantic Crystal Marrow, alongside 2,000 survival coins, in exchange for your Talent Awakening Elixir. Professor Wang. You must provide me with the full, detailed specifications of whichever special item you receive from this trade. Lin Chun thought Professor Wang was a pure research scientist. He spoke without any unnecessary delays. If this man ran a business, he would surely suffer heavy losses by always offering his absolute maximum terms right away. Conscientious chef. Naturally, no problem. A trade request from Professor Wong has been received. Would you like to view it? The trade was completed swiftly. Lin Shen stepped outside and held the newly obtained Advanced Energy Stone, activating the God of Cooking system to examine it. Advanced Energy Stone. Description: mass-produced creation of a quantum civilization. Developed by the quantum civilization to simplify energy generation. Compatible with all energy-consuming equipment belonging to civilizations below the quantum tier. Energy can be perfectly converted using a matching energy conversion device. Direct utilization results in reduced conversion efficiency. Requires an energy charging unit for recharging. Remaining energy, 99.98. What a treasure. With this, could he safely begin upgrading his vehicle? Lin Shen's first thought was whether he should disclose everything honestly. What if the military decided they wanted the stone back? Then a key detail caught his eye. Remaining energy, 99.98. Had it been like this from the moment it was acquired? A chill ran through Lin Shen. The military's research team was no collection of fools. The method of using this artifact was not overly complicated. It was highly likely they had already tested and uncovered its functions. It was entirely possible all three items he could choose from had already been studied. They were simply testing the limits of his abilities. Sweat beaded on his forehead as this realization sank in. Had he grown far too complacent lately, underestimating others? Lin Shen sent every detail the system displayed straight to Professor Wong, including information regarding the energy charging apparatus. Professor Wong, good. Your information is of great significance. Professor Wong, until we meet again. Without waiting for Lin Shen's reply, Professor Wong went offline. After briefly notifying Lao Zhao, Lin Shen resolved to launch a large-scale vehicle upgrade project. Lin Shen stroked the Advanced Energy Stone. The deep blue crystal glowed with soft, faint light. The moment his fingertips touched it, a chill spread out, seeming to suppress the sweltering midday heat of the wasteland. 2,000 survival coins had safely entered his account. Coupled with this energy core from a quantum civilization, the upgrade plans he had only dared to stare at repeatedly in the Points Mall could finally be put into action. Points: 575 survival coins, 2330. He wasted no time and summoned the upgrade panel of the God of Cooking system. He had studied the upgrade options for his basic electric tricycle countless times. 1,000 survival coins submitted. Converted to 1,000 points. Current points: 1575. Basic electric tricycle upgrade. 600 points. Basic frame reinforcement already applied. For 100 points. Basic small electric tricycle. Advanced Energy Stone detected. Optimize upgrade blueprint? Yes. Matching modules in progress. Please wait. Compatible Component 1. Universal Energy Adaptation Module, 300 points. Description: connect any energy source to the vehicle power system. Compatible with most conventional and special energy types. Compatible Component 2. Built-in Compact Energy Charging Unit Small Vehicle Spec, 500 points. Description: automatically convert ambient energy to recharge energy stones. Charging rate varies based on surrounding environmental conditions. Please select components for purchase. Lin Shen did not hesitate. Energy conversion and automatic recharging alike represented an invaluable investment. Purchase Component 1 and Component 2. 1,400 points consumed. Current points: 175. The notification appeared, and gentle white light lit up deep within the food cart's frame, spreading along its metal pipes. The axles emitted a low hum. The pedal gear assembly retracted and restructured rapidly. A small silver-gray device embedded itself into the rear wheel hub, housing an ostrich egg-sized slot. A simple liquid crystal panel appeared beneath the handlebars. The loose, drafty canvas canopy was pulled taut, lined with waterproof sealing along its edges. Even the storage space beneath the work counter expanded slightly outwards. Ding. Vehicle upgrade complete. Second-hand pedal food cart E+ upgraded to basic electric food cart D. Universal Energy Adaptation Module installed on basic electric food cart D. Vehicle tier raised to D. Built-in Compact Energy Charging Unit installed on basic electric food cart D. Vehicle tier raised to D+. Vehicle type: mobile food cart. Vehicle tier: D+. Food cart exclusive attributes. Customer attraction: randomly draw ordinary diners. If a diner has visited before, the chance of them returning is slightly increased. Lingering aura LV.2. A 2-meter protective zone centered on the food cart. All facilities within this area remain undamaged. Current status: closed. Ding. Food cart upgrade finished. Shopkeeper promotion: Probationary Shopkeeper Junior Shopkeeper. Achievement unlocked, Junior Shopkeeper. Reward, 200 points. New Authority unlocked, Junior Discount Authority. Maximum discount, 10 off. New Authority unlocked, Junior Special Menu. Designate one dish excluding water and snacks for special offer. Customizable promotion duration. Operating time consumption doubles during the promotion, and only the selected dish can be served. Talent upgrade. Forager's Harvest ED. Resources uncovered within the shopkeeper's vicinity yield extra ingredients with improved quality and quantity. Talent upgrade. Apocalyptic Pantry ED. Shelf life for ingredients and prepared food stored inside the cart is quintupled. Talent upgrade. Emergency Rations ED. A chef survives without empty hands. Gain 5 random servings of food daily. Ingredient quality cannot exceed talent tier. Lin Shun inserted the energy stone into the silver gray device. The unit's cover slid shut automatically, and the liquid crystal panel lit up with pale blue light. Remaining energy, 99.98. Scanning surroundings, sunlight, wind, thermal energy, free ambient energy. Charging efficiency, 1 per hour. A string of system prompts made Lin Shun unable to suppress a grin. He reached up and touched the fuel lamp mounted on the roof, switching its power source to the onboard energy stone. Soft white light spilled steadily outwards, illuminating every vein of the withered grass within a 3-meter radius. Its brightness was more than triple what it had been before. This is proper lighting, Lin Shun muttered in admiration. When the eternal night descended, with this lamp active alongside the food cart's protective barrier, he would feel incredibly secure. He twisted the throttle, and the electric food cart surged forward. Wind whistled past his ears. Its speed was more than double what he could achieve by pedaling. Even when rolling over dirt ridges, the vehicle only swayed gently, impressively stable. Wee Wee poked its head out from the front pocket, tiny claws hooked over the edge. Its black eyes sparkled as it watched the scenery rush past, squeaking excitedly against the wind. After traveling 1 kilometer, Lin Shun gradually slowed down. He glanced at the energy gauge. The number remained unchanged, still at 99.98. This durability is unbelievable, he sighed in relief. At this consumption rate, the stone would easily sustain daily travel and lighting all through the eternal night disaster. The protective radius extended outward an extra 2 meters. From now on, he could chop and prepare food beside the cart without worrying about sudden ambushes from mutated creatures. He still needed a better set of kitchenware. Wee Wee, time to work. Lin Shun nudged the round little creature in his pocket. Track down nearby treasure chests. Let's stock up more supplies today. Wee Wee squeaked its acknowledgement. To keep his little companion safe, whenever a treasure chest was located, Lin Shun drove straight to its position following Huahui's guidance. With improved speed and Huahui's precise treasure detection, Lin Shun gathered resource chests along the route as he traveled. At the same time, he confirmed that Huahui's early warning talent could reliably detect treasure chests. Protected by the lingering aura, he encountered no dangerous incidents along the way. Useless materials were exchanged directly for points. Ingredients were kept for cooking. He also traded kitchen utensils and tableware with Lao Zhao and Su Wan, and purchased additional seasonings from the Points Mall. His points were depleted once more. The dimensional farm and customer bell remained distant goals. Still, preparation was never wasted. Circumstances had prevented him from acquiring these necessities before, but now the time was right. On the road, he met 2 diners, both players active in the regional chat channel. They were player 43547 and Lucky Star. Both of them had watched Wang Ermatzi and I Love Work rave about the food endlessly in the group chat. Each ordered a serving of scallion sweet potato omelet and shredded sweet potato egg pancake. Lin Shun sourced the missing ingredients via the Points Mall. Cooking with his newly acquired kitchen tools, he scored 90 points on both dishes. The bonus effect of the 90-point shredded sweet potato egg pancake boosted stamina. Lin Shun suspected attribute gains were linked to the ingredients used, though further testing was required to confirm. After bidding Lucky Star farewell, Lin Shun mused. Nicknames always suited their owners perfectly. Player 43547 was named Chinemo. His vehicle was a foldable geared bicycle. He looked roughly 25 or 6 years old, wearing black plastic-framed glasses with the right temple snapped and wrapped 3 or 4 times with transparent tape. Hanging loosely from his ear, he wore a faded gray-blue office shirt, frayed at the collar. Sleeves rolled up to his forearms, revealing sun-darkened skin and red calluses from gripping handlebars. Yellow dirt stained his trouser cuffs, and mud coated the edges of his shoes. Shin Mo purchased 2 dishes plus 1 bottle of water. Lin Shun observed him carefully. It appeared Chen Mo had not received any attribute enhancement. Shortly after Chen Mo left, Lin Chun met Lucky Star. Lucky Star's real name was Lin Xingyao, a young girl driving a compact Beetle. She hummed an off-key tune as she traveled. Spotting the food cart in the distance, she accelerated sharply, braking neatly on the roadside. She was in her early 20s, with a round face dotted with faint freckles across her nose and cheeks. Her high ponytail was secured by a knotted, broken black hair tie, stray strands plastered to her forehead by the wind. She wore a light blue denim jacket with frayed cuffs. When she smiled, two small tiger teeth showed, her eyes curving like crescent moons. She retained a bright vitality that survival in this harsh wasteland had not worn away. She hopped over to the cart and leaned against the counter, peering inside. Lin Xingyao ordered 2 dishes and 1 can of cola. Cola was available in the points mall too. It cost 2 points to purchase, and Lin Xin sold it for 8 points. Fair pricing for everyone. Both dishes triggered stamina enhancement effects for Lin Xingyao. The girl was overjoyed and shook the cart so hard Lin Xin nearly lost his balance. Lin Xingyao's Beetle rumbled away down the dirt road, leaving a thin trail of dust in its wake. Before departing, she leaned out the window and waved repeatedly, grinning to show her tiger teeth. Barely 2 minutes passed before the regional chat channel exploded once more with messages about Conscientious Chef. Compared to player 43547, the news Lin Xingyao shared sent greater shockwaves through everyone. Lucky Star guys. I ate food from Chef Conscientious. The scallion sweet potato omelet and shredded sweet potato pancake are amazing. I even got cola. It's sweet. I'm so happy. Lucky Star. And after eating, I feel brimming with energy. The chef is really nice, and prices are fair. Lucky Star. Oh right. The system gave me +2 stamina points. Lucky Star. Does anyone know what stamina does? I just feel noticeably stronger. Hee. The channel fell silent for 3 full seconds. Then messages flooded in so rapidly the text blurred. Starving Shaoli. Stats increase? Did I read that right? Old Joe on the construction crew. That can't be. Can eating food really boost attributes? That would make them heavenly treasures. Rabbit doesn't eat grass near its burrow. I told everyone Conscientious Chef was special, but nobody believed me. Ordinary hot meals wouldn't make Wang Ermatzi and I Love Work sing his praises nonstop. Before skepticism could fade, 2 regular diners stepped forward to comment. Wang Ermatzi, after eating the chef's omelet, my stamina fully recovered. Could that be the stat boost effect? I Love Work. I don't think so. That's probably just the regular effect of his cooking. Lucky Star. I got a system notification directly. It said stamina +1, and a warm current spread all through my body. It felt incredible. They said nothing more, yet their silence spoke volumes. Lucky Star. The chef said his dishes have a chance to raise attributes, but the odds aren't high. Milk tea, less sugar. Lucky Star always has great luck, so it might be real. But gaining stats just from eating feels way too absurd. Cola with rice. Insane. This world is insane. While others risk their lives opening chests and fighting mutated creatures, some people just eat a meal and grow stronger. Soft Candy Bear. Oh? Does anyone know where the chef is? I want food too. Northwest Hammer King. This isn't just an ordinary cook. He's a mobile buff station. Stick close to him, and you get stat boosts while exploring. Previously, people could explain hot meals restoring stamina as a natural effect of nourishment. But confirmed system notifications granting a tribute gains shattered every common understanding. Meanwhile, major factions stirred into action. Suwon leaned against her motorcycle sorting supplies when the regional chat messages made her fingers pause. After a moment of thought, she immediately opened communication with her guild leader. Leader, new information. Conscientious Chef's food has a chance to raise base attributes. There was a brief silence on the other end of the line. Confirmation? Not fully verified, but highly plausible. Suwon replied quickly. I've eaten his meals before. They erased exhaustion after a sleepless night, and let me maintain peak stamina for extended periods. The guild leader pondered. We originally considered him a stable supply source. Now it seems his value far exceeds our estimates. Should we revise our cooperation terms? Yes, the leader answered firmly. The eternal night is nearly upon us. We must unite every available force. Reach out to him again. We can relax our conditions. Prioritize establishing deep cooperation. Understood. The communication ended. Suwon stared at Lin Chen's friend icon on her system panel and tapped her handlebars gently. She had once believed gifting him a talent awakening elixir was an overwhelming display of sincerity. Now she realized she had still vastly underestimated the young chef. Elsewhere, a virtual conference was underway, also discussing Conscientious Chef. The virtual meeting room was full. It seemed one survivor possessed a talent enabling long-distance meetings via projection. The shared screen displayed Lucky Star's message about attribute-boosting food. Professor Wong gestured for quiet. First, I will share verified information. In Survival Road, attribute points are a confirmed mechanic. Research divides them broadly into strength, stamina, intelligence, and mental power. Whether other attribute types exist remains under investigation. We have confirmed that attribute points can be raised. Improvement can be achieved through special artifacts, equipment, and physical training. No existing data supports attribute enhancement via food. The channel erupted into heated debate once more. Professor Wong concluded the discussion. Our organization has already established cooperation with Conscientious Chef. His item appraisal ability is verified and invaluable for artifact research and technological advancement. Regardless of whether the reports about attribute-boosting cuisine are accurate, pursuing deep cooperation remains essential. Professor Wong adjusted his glasses. I propose elevating his priority classification to Grade A. Resources within our authority can be allocated to him preferentially. Agreed. Everyone on the channel responded in unison. No one continued to view Lin Shun as just another survivor who cooked. In this resource-starved, danger-ridden survival world, anyone capable of consistently producing food was an irreplaceable treasure. If that food could also enhance personal attributes, then his worth would be incalculable. Winning him over, securing his loyalty, and guaranteeing his safety became the shared objective of every far-sighted faction. Lin Shin remained unaware he had caught the attention of the two largest factions in the region. He traveled peacefully along the survival highway. He had served 2 diners today. Combined revenue from meals and bottled water reached 143 points. With Huey's guidance, he recovered 3 bronze treasure chests and 2 wooden chests. His current points stood at 575, with little overall change. As for survival coins, the 2,000 coins traded over by Professor Wong, minus 1,000 exchange for points, plus payment from Chun Mo and Lin Xingyao, coins looted from treasure chests, and surplus materials. Bearings, iron sheets, fine wire, waterproof tarpaulin, lumber, 3 units of gasoline, and more. Traded for kitchenware and survival coins with the military and Suwon at market rates. He now held a total of 2,762 survival coins, usable to purchase supplies or convert directly into points. While most survivors struggled over half a hard ration biscuit in this early survival phase, this sum qualified as a substantial fortune. Next, he checked his ingredient stock by mentally scanning the cart's sealed storage compartment, tallying each item carefully. Thanks to his Tier D apocalyptic pantry talent, he had no need to worry about ingredient freshness. Newly added supplies brought his staple inventory to 1 sack flour, 2 corn cobs, 3 sweet potatoes, plus 2 sacks of rice, which Lin Shun had long hoped to obtain. Meat and eggs, 2 portions pork, 2 portions chicken, 6 eggs. Other ingredients were more abundant. 2 potatoes, 1 carrot, 2 tomatoes, 2 bundles of leafy greens, 2 Chinese yams, 2 batches shiitake mushrooms, 2 bundles wild green onions, 3 pieces ginger, 2 heads garlic, 5 dried chili peppers, 1 sack starch. Lin Shin planned to purchase purified water and any other missing ingredients directly via the mall when needed. He also held 3 compressed biscuit packs and 1 pack instant noodles, plus 5 bottles of ordinary purified water native to Survival Road. His kitchenware had also been upgraded. Alongside his original basic iron set, fine iron kitchen knife, and wooden cutting board. He had traded with Su Wan and Lao Zhao that afternoon to acquire a thickened fine iron wok, matching ladles and strainers, plus several electric kitchen appliances. Testing confirmed they could draw power directly from the cart's energy system. The second day on Survival Road was drawing to a close. The sun began to sink low. It was time to prepare dinner. Lin Shin parked his vehicle in a hollow sheltered by wind on 3 sides. Gray wriggled out from his chest pocket, shaking grass clippings off his fluffy fur. He curled into a round, fuzzy ball atop the work counter, his nose twitching gently. Clearly, he was worn out after a full day of traveling. Lin Shin set up the wooden foldable table and chairs Su Wan had given him and lit the fuel lamp mounted on the vehicle's roof. Warm white light spilled out from beneath the lampshade. Stroking his chin, he had just inventoried his ingredients and hesitated between cooking rice or noodles. There remained less than half a sack of flour, so Lin Shin decided to make hand-pulled noodles for himself. He got to work at once. First, he scooped out the leftover flour. He mixed a small half-spoon of fine salt into cold water, pouring the salted water into the flour bit by bit. Twisting his wrist, he stirred everything into loose flour clumps, then kneaded them into a firm, smooth dough. He covered it with a clean damp cloth to rest. While the dough underwent its first resting period, he fetched 2 tomatoes. He cut a cross into the top of each, blanched them in hot water, and peeled off the thin skins effortlessly. He chopped 1 tomato into tiny diced pieces and cut the other into evenly sized chunks. He cracked eggs into a bowl, added a pinch of salt, and whisked until frothy, creating smooth, glossy egg liquid. After 15 minutes, the dough was ready. He placed it on the cutting board and kneaded and pressed it repeatedly for several minutes. The gluten stretched gradually under his hands, growing tighter and springier. He covered it with the damp cloth again to rest for another 20 minutes. Once the dough had enough elasticity, he pressed it into a thick round disc. He picked up the rolling pin and rolled outward from the center, rotating the dough as he worked. He dusted a thin layer of flour to prevent sticking, and soon rolled it into an even sheet roughly 2 millimeters thick. He sprinkled fine starch over both sides of the dough sheet, then folded it layer by layer like a folding fan, adding a light dusting of flour between each fold to stop the layers from sticking together. Lin Chun gripped his fine iron kitchen knife, his wrist steady. The blade rose and fell vertically as he sliced evenly forward across the folded dough. A rapid tapping sound echoed non-stop, and the sheet quickly turned into uniform noodles. He lifted the top edge and shook gently. The noodles separated completely, none stuck together. By the time he finished cutting the noodles, the water in the boiling pot was roiling. He turned the other burner of the coal stove to medium-low heat and poured a little cooking oil into an iron pan. When the oil reached 30 to 40% heat, he tipped in the finely diced tomatoes. He pressed and stirred them slowly with the spatula. A rich, sweet, and sour tomato aroma rose amid sizzling sounds as the tomatoes broke down into a thick pulp. Next, he added the tomato chunks, stirred briefly, poured in 2 large bowls of water, and turned up the flame to bring everything to a boil. When the soup bubbled, he stirred in fine salt and a little sugar to enhance the flavor, then lowered the heat to keep the broth simmering gently. Slowly, he poured the beaten egg liquid along the edge of the pan. The egg liquid instantly formed fluffy golden egg flakes as it hit the hot soup. Red tomato and yellow egg flour swirled in the clear broth. The scent drifted far on the wind, mingling with wheat fragrance, incredibly tempting amid the darkening sky. He had added a pinch of salt to the water for boiling noodles beforehand. He lowered the hand-cut noodles into the pot and gently stirred them in one direction with chopsticks to prevent sticking to the bottom. When all noodles floated to the surface, he poured in cold water once. After boiling again, he added cold water a second time. On the third boil, the noodles were translucent all the way through. When he snapped one apart, there was no raw white core left. He quickly scooped them into a bowl. He ladled a generous serving of tomato and egg broth over the noodles and scattered chopped green onions on top. Steam billowed upward, carrying a rich aroma. Ding! Detected that the host has prepared E+ grade cuisine, tomato and egg hand-cut noodles. Cuisine score, 91 master level cooking bonus plus 20, cookware bonus plus 4. Note, dishes scoring above 80 can restore survivor stamina by an extra 10. Dishes scoring above 90 have a chance to boost spirit attribute. System pricing, 45 points. Lin Chun nodded in satisfaction. He had barely finished the noodles when the warm golden daylight faded into dusky blue. Nighttime chill swept on the wind, swaying the canvas awning softly. Lin Chun glanced at his system panel. 2 hours of business time remained for the day. Ding! Detected incoming customer. He had just set the bowl of noodles on the work counter when the familiar scrape of skate shoes against gravel echoed in the distance. Boss! Little Chef Boss! His voice reached Lin Chun before he came into view, brimming with uncontainable excitement. Lin Chun looked up to see regular customer Wang Ermatzi. The skate shoes on his feet were clearly upgraded. Extending up to his knees with reinforced protective plating, the wheels glinted metallic, letting him slide swiftly and steadily. Wang Ermatzi caught the scent of tomatoes long before he arrived, pushed off faster, and braked sharply beside the food cart. His eyes lit up brilliantly. Boss, great to run into you again. He gasped for breath, gaze fixed firmly on the steaming bowl of tomato egg hand-cut noodles on the counter, saliva nearly dripping down his chin. Is this a new dish? It smells absolutely amazing. Tomato and egg hand-cut noodles. Freshly made. Lin Chun smiled. Want a bowl? Absolutely. I'll take one, plus a bottle of Coke. Wang Ermatzi slapped his chest. He had heard about the Coke sold here from Lucky Star, and he had not tasted any in ages. 53 survival coins. After collecting the coins, Lin Chun gestured for Wang Ermatzi to sit at the folding table and brought over the noodles and Coke. He had bought 2 extra folding chairs from Suwon earlier, making 4 seats in total. Just then, A women's bicycle trundled slowly along the road. It wobbled unevenly as its rider, a teenage girl of 17 or 18, pedaled forward. Her school jacket was torn in multiple places, her face as pale as paper, lips cracked and dry. She spotted the food cart's lamp light far off, hesitated for a long while, then rode slowly closer. Her voice was faint, barely audible. "Excuse me, do you have food here?" The girl was Chunyu, known online as Drizzle under the eaves. She was extremely introverted and rarely spoke in the Survivor chat channel. A high school student, she had drawn this old bicycle as her vehicle. All she had left was half a pack of hardtack and a bottle of water. She was barely clinging on. "What would you like to order?" Linchin asked. She clutched the straps of her backpack and stared at the ground awkwardly. I don't have much money." Chunyu had only opened 2 wooden crates that day. Luck had not favored her, yielding merely 30 survival coins plus some basic supplies. "Don't worry, the boss's food is very affordable." Wang or Matzi invited Chunyu to sit down. "You can also trade goods instead of coins. Compared with the trading market, the food here tastes far better and costs less." Chunyu swallowed hard as she stared at the bowl of noodles on the table. "Then, I'll have this noodle dish too." "All right." Linchin gave her a kind smile. "It will take a little time to prepare. We won't close for a long while yet. You two can chat while waiting." Linchin had not expected Wang or Matzi to be so considerate toward girls. He pushed his own bowl of noodles toward Chunyu, saying he was willing to wait for his serving. When Chunyu pulled out her purified water to drink, Wang or Matzi quickly stopped her. "Purified water here is only 5 survival coins. Coke is 8. He lifted his own bottle of Coke. "Far cheaper than the trading market. Shame you can't take any food or drinks away from the cart, not even water." In the end, Chunyu ordered a bowl of tomato egg hand-cut noodles and a bottle of purified water. Learning that Chunyu lacked enough survival coins and planned to barter goods, Wang or Matzi generously covered the difference for her. It seemed Wang or Matzi's circumstances had improved greatly. Linchin purchased 1 sack of flour from the Points Mall. Ding. Consumed 1 point. Obtained flour times 1. Glancing at the sky and calculating the time, Linchin decided to test the effect of the special supply function. Ding. Special supply activated. Current special cuisine, tomato and egg hand-cut noodles. Business time consumption doubled. Remaining business time, 1 hour and 37 minutes. Watching the timer tick down 2 seconds at a time, Linchin sorted out his ingredients. He planned to make 3 servings. Any unsold noodles would serve as his midnight snack. As Linchin busied himself, Chunyu enjoyed the first hot meal she had tasted since entering the survival world. The warm soup wrapped around her. The bright sweet tang of tomatoes blended with fragrant egg and springy wheat noodles. One mouthful sent warmth spreading from her tongue all the way to her stomach, relaxing every muscle in her body. Chunyu was halfway through her meal when Linchin finished cooking the 3 bowls of noodles, and the 3rd customer arrived. He was a middle-aged man around 40, driving a modified utility cart piled high with wrenches and spare parts. Thick engine oil stained his hands, and his face bore the dust of long travel. His name was Li Shui, once a mechanic at a repair shop. The utility handcart was the vehicle he had drawn. "Boss, the smell led me here." His voice boomed, straightforward. "I'd like a stir-fried meat dish." It appeared Li Shui was a member of Su Wan's guild. "We're serving our special dish today, tomato and egg hand-cut noodles." Linchin looked up and replied, "That works." Li Shui glanced at the folding table. 2 cans of Coke as well. 61 survival coins. Linchin brought 2 bowls of noodles and 2 cans of Coke to the table. Li Shui wasted no time, picking up his chopsticks and eating quickly yet neatly. He did heavy manual labor, and after finishing a bowl of noodles, much of his exhaustion faded away. His hands stopped shaking. After eating, he wiped his mouth and spoke voluntarily. "Boss, I see you're driving an electric tricycle. If your vehicle ever breaks down, you can come find me." A thought crossed Linchin's mind. He made a mental note of the man. Having a mechanic acquaintance would undoubtedly prove useful. The 3 were chatting when the harsh rumble of tires rolling over gravel suddenly cut through the air. A crudely modified off-road bicycle charged toward them recklessly. Its handlebars were bent to one side, its frame wrapped in rusty wire. A half-threaded steel rod was secured to the left handlebar with tattered cloth. The rod tip was polished bright, stained with dark, unidentifiable residue. The rider's upper torso was bare. Dark tan skin bore crudely drawn tattoos. A jagged scar sliced from his eyebrow down to his jaw, twisting as he gritted his teeth. His eyes burned with unruly malice, locking onto the group beside the food cart dozens of meters away. He swore loudly, showing no intention of slowing down as he barreled forward. Before the apocalypse, this man had been a notorious local thug, constantly stealing and bullying the vulnerable. Everyone knew him as Scarface. Scarface spotted Chunyu clutching her noodle bowl and caught the scent of noodles in the air. He pedaled faster, skidding to a halt with a sharp creak directly in front of the cart. He planted one foot on the ground, slanting his eyes to size Lin Chen up behind the counter. His gaze swept over the simmering soup pot, then fell on Chunyu's half-eaten bowl of noodles. A twisted grin tugged at his mouth, warping his scar into a terrifying shape. Fancy meeting people out on this survival highway. He tilted his chin upward toward Lin Chen, speaking in an overbearing tone. You food vendor, hurry up and serve me 2 bowls of noodles, extra meat. Put it on my tab. I'm doing you a favor. Chunyu trembled in fright, dropping her chopsticks to the ground. She instinctively shrank back toward the food cart. Wang Ermatzi shot to his feet and pointed at Scarface angrily. What do you think you're doing? This is honest chef's stall. You have no right to cause trouble here. A stall? This beat-up tricycle's a stall. Scarface scoffed and reached for Chunyu's backpack. Cut the chatter. I've starved all day. Hand over the food. Or don't blame me for being rough. His hand had barely stretched toward Chunyu when it slammed against an invisible barrier. A dull thud echoed, and he stumbled backward 2 steps, the back of his hand flushing bright red instantly. Scarface stared in shock, then cursed. Unconvinced, he gripped the steel rod and swung it toward Chunyu. Li Shi stepped forward to intervene, but the rod clattered to the ground mid-swing. Lin Chen remained behind the counter, unmoving. Only when Scarface flew into a rage and tried to charge forward did he speak calmly. No one can start trouble within the bounds of this food cart. Leave now, and I will let this incident slide. You're bluffing. Scarface's face turned crimson. He still attempted to push forward, yet no matter how hard he strained, he could not cross the invisible boundary. Each attempt bounced him back, sending a sharp ache through his arms. Fear crept into his heart, and he eyed Lin Chen with new wariness, though he still refused to back down. Just you wait. Someday you'll be caught alone. There's no need to wait. Lin Chen tapped the system panel on his wrist, opening the blacklist function. As of this moment, you are permanently blacklisted from this shop. Ding. Player Scarface has been added to the shop blacklist. This player will never trigger the shop's customer summoning mechanism and cannot interact with the shop in any form. The instant the system notification appeared, Scarface saw the food cart grow hazy, as if viewed through mist. Panic surged through him. He tried moving closer to see clearly, yet his feet inexplicably felt heavy, and he could not draw near. Once Scarface vanished completely from sight, Chunyu breathed a sigh of relief. Her eyes were still glistening, and she thanked Lin Chen repeatedly. Thank you, boss. Thank you for saving me. Wang Ermatzi slapped his thigh and cheered. Boss, you're incredible. Li Shi nodded. All kinds of people wander this world. With such protection, we don't need to worry about you, boss. Lin Chen waved his hand. I run a food stall. Protecting my customers is part of the job. We'll keep an eye out for troublemakers like him, Li Shi reassured Chunyu. In the apocalypse, people pose the greatest danger. More stations lie ahead, and not all will be trading posts. Encounters between survivors will grow more frequent. Thank you, Chunyu replied softly. They rested for a while longer, exchanged survivor contacts, and the 3 customers took their leave one after another. As he departed, Wang Ermatzi muttered repeatedly, I wonder when I'll get to taste your cooking again. These days are truly tough. Holding her empty bowl, Chunyu thanked Lin Chen several more times before riding her bicycle slowly away. Li Shi climbed onto his utility cart and waved, offering no extra words. The 3 figures soon faded into darkness. Silence returned around the food cart, broken only by the steady warm glow of the fuel lamp. Business hours had long ended. Lin Chen tidied up and retrieved the last unserved bowl of noodles. He set the bowl on the folding table, and Gray poked his head out from Lin Chen's chest pocket, squeaking twice. Lin Chen set Gray down. He opened the 100-flavored Beast Tamer feed box, took out the last pet ration, fetched a small bowl, and served Gray a portion of tomato egg hand-cut noodles. Man and Rat enjoyed their meal heartily. While cleaning the counter, Lin Chen tallied up his gains from the night. Wind swept across the earthen slope, carrying the cold breath of night. I must reach the first station tomorrow. The eternal night is coming, Lin Chen thought to himself. Thankfully, I upgraded the vehicle and have the fuel lamp. It seems I can travel through the night.